Hi, my friends. My Stream Deck has decided it's not connected today, so it's not quite as smooth of an entry as I was hoping for it to be. But we're here. Hello. Welcome. That should be everything. Music is off, microphone is on, and y'all can see me. Okay. So it just means I won't have quite as smooth as clicks. I'm not sure what's up with it. I guess I will have to. Maybe it needs updated or something. Sometimes all of the technology updates and stuff drive me crazy. OBS keeps asking to update. Like, every time I open it, it's like, we have a new, 3.12, 3.17. I'm like, no, because the last time you updated on me, you then stopped working with literally everything else. Like, it wouldn't take Discord, it wouldn't take my Stream Deck, it wouldn't take Twitch, it wouldn't take Restream, and it was annoying as hell. Because I did not know this until I went to go live. So that was lovely. And so I've been not updating OBS, but I guess the Stream Deck must need updated too, because it does not want to allow me to click any buttons, which is absolutely wild for that to be the case, but I don't know. I assume that that's something I can plug in and out while we're live. Some of the things I can't, usually I can't unplug my microphone and stuff while we're live, or the whole thing freaks out. I'll try this little guy. We'll see if we give him a second here, if he wants to function. Alright. Plugged him back in, but nah, he's just pulling up the same things that he pulled up before, it looks like. Yeah, so in other words, I'm gonna have to fuck around with the Stream Deck, see what's up, why it's not reading it. Could be an OBS thing, right? It could be because I blocked OBS updates that the Stream Deck can no longer connect to it. And if that's the case, go fuck yourself. That's dumb. On both ends, not just OBS, but an OBS and Stream Deck. But I'll check it. We'll see what we got. So hello. I hope you have done well this past weekend and a little bit of the week, since our last streams are usually on Wednesday. It's been a good weekend for me. If you keep up on Instagram or TikTok or anything like that, you might have noticed that I have spent the entire from Thursday through Sunday just editing audio. Wasn't even my auditions. I've been editing the audio from ZenKaiCon still 2 weeks ago, but I have another convention this week, so I've been working on everybody's audio. Still have a bunch to go, but we made a good decent chunk into that 140 something pieces. Hi Theta, how are you? It's great to see you, Theta. I love it when you pop into my streams, because you have such great insight and conversations. You're one of my favorite people to see in the chat, so thank you. And I can count on you quite a bit to be here, which I appreciate. So I hope your weekend went well, Theta. Anything crazy happen? Any cool new info you learned? I'm always curious to learn it. But yeah, I've been editing audio and I'm still not done, so I will be doing that tomorrow and Wednesday, and then we pack up Thursday and we head out to our little baby convention. So hopefully there won't be too much audio to edit after the baby convention, and I'll be able to get that out to people. And there's not a lot of folks, so we might not have too many join our community. We had, maybe 5 or so join from ZenKaiCon, which was awesome. I wish we had more, but I know that night times on weekdays can be really hard for some folks in the community, but it is what it is. We always love new people. I don't know that anyone will come from our little baby con, but if they do, yay. But everybody's audio from ZenKaiCon should be edited before we go to that con. So I'm hoping tomorrow and Wednesday to knock out the rest of them. And maybe Thursday and then send it all on Friday. We'll see. But you never know. But that's mostly been my weekend. Did anyone catch the eclipse tonight? Theta, did you catch the eclipse? I guess today. It might depend on where you're at, so don't dox yourself. But have you seen any videos of it? Did you catch it live? I was able to catch it live to where we saw the little crescent of, the sunlight coming out, and then it covers it and it gets really dark outside. I was kind of impressed to see how dark it got outside, because I'm an Avatar: The Last Airbender baby, so that show was my childhood. I still love it. It means a lot to me, and so to get to see it in person was really funny because the whole time all I could think was, oh, wait, I see Avatar makes sense. Avatar's pretty accurate. I was technically out in it and I've seen a photo. Ooh. Yeah, the photos are cool and stuff. I will say, right, like, it's not like, I know people are like, oh, this might be the only chance, like, you gotta get out there and see it and all that jazz. It's just a orange ring and a black circle. You know, it's like, it's not, if you didn't see it, it's not the worst thing on the planet. If you did, cool. Especially for someone who has aphantasia and cannot picture things in my brain. Doesn't really matter if I'm there to see it or not. I'm there, I'm in the moment, this is cool. I'll never remember what it looked like. So, here's what it is. I was there in 2005 and I was there in 2008. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. For Avatar, you mean? Because that's the Avatar timeline. I was a little baby during those years. Well, baby to child. But that was my shit. Next one in 2044. Yeah, it's not the worst thing on the planet, right? We will knock on all the wood, cross all the fingers, be here for 2024, like alive. Most of us, all of us, hopefully, again, all the superstitions. And you could always catch it then. But again, like, photos do it justice. I think the only thing that I would say was really cool to, like, join and see, if I saw you, oh, hi, I love Yoda. Oh, that's unfortunate. You shouldn't do that. Because Jack Skellington is a very nice person. And thank you, by the way. I love looking like him every day. One of my favorite things. I mean, I can have my bot block you if you want, but, like, I get worse commentary, so feel free to stay. You can stay, you can jump. I don't really give a shit, my guy. I get a lot worse comments every day. Here, I can go in and block you. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. Let's see. Let's see. You're not very good at this, my guy. You don't have anything better? Let's see. There we go. Next time, be better. Be better at your insults, because you're kind of like on child level with it. Yeah, you don't have very good insults, my guy. I mean, is ugly the best you have? You were better with Jack Skellington. Much better with Jack Skellington. But, like, the rest is a little lame. You gotta get better with that, okay? If you get better, let me know. But I'm gonna block ya. Oh boy, let's see. If I go in here, do I have to go from the head part or do I have to go from the actual, like, chat? That's always the question. Give me 2 seconds, Theta. Let's see what I got. Oh, I don't have, what is it, 907? They always want timestamps. I think that counts, right? Maybe it doesn't. No, it looks like it did, right? Does that hide it from everyone, or does that just hide it from me? That's the question. I guess it doesn't matter as long as I can't read it, right? Aw, that's cute. People are not great with their insults, huh? Moderation actions. Ooh! Is it still here, Theta? I'll see if I can block it for you guys, too. Let's see. Not sure if I entirely know how. Oh, ban! There it is. There it is, because it's called ban on Twitch. Oh. See, that's why. Because I'm looking at it like it just says block. But no, you have to go to like specifically ban. Okay. Well, that makes more sense then. Okay. So, now did that take it? Well, Theta, it's going to stay in your chat because you're on YouTube. So I don't think I can take it out of the restream chat. I can try. I don't know if it takes it out of the Twitch chat or not. Let's see. Add to block list. There we go. Okay, so it's block on Restream. It's ban on Twitch. Oh, so you learn new things every day. It's always funny to me, though, when people come in and they try and say things where they're like, "You're ugly. You look like a skeleton." I'm like, baby, you understand I've been called actual slurs, right? Like, the best you have is ugly? Honey, baby, what are you, 12? Get a little better at your insults, kid. Like, it's so funny to me when people pull that shit. I'm like, oh, that's the best you got? He came in here creative. I was like, you started creative? Jack Skellington? And then you went to ugly. Like, wow. Oh, well. We'll ignore them. That's what the ban button is for. At least now I know what it's called. Oh my god. Wild that I've been streaming for that many months and never had to do that. Like, that shit's crazy. Got a little luck on us, don't we? Okay, let's see. Yeah, you're on the extreme young end of the target audience. I'm the same way, Theta. I'm the same exact way. So I was like I was 5 in 2005. So I was 5 when it came out. And then it would air an episode like every Friday and then, have the wait time for animation and then season 2 and every Friday and have the wait. Back when there was like actual, we wait and we see and then we make the episodes and then they come out every Friday and you gotta wait once a week instead of like batches. So I was 5 when it would come out. And we'd watch it every Friday. It was daddy-daughter night. So it would be my dad and my sister and myself. We would watch the episodes of Avatar every time they premiered. And then past 2008, they would do reruns on like, it was my first experience with appointment television. Yes! Same. Where you had to like make a plan to be awake at the time in your time zone. You have to sit there for commercials. Like, you would show up like 5 minutes before it would actually start because you would want to make sure that you don't miss the intro. Yeah, it was family bonding for you too. Oh, I'm so glad, Theta. I'm so glad. It's genuinely like one of my best memories is I absolutely love the fact that that's like my family bonding. And it was so much fun and I loved it. Cause I've always been like a nerd and like into that kind of stuff. So it was nice to be able to like have my family be little nerds with me, especially because the more I got older, like the more they grew out of that stuff. And I was like here with my little like avatar. So it was so much fun. Who was your favorite character? Because I will always and have always wanted to be Toph. That is my girl. When I was a kid, all I wanted to be was Toph. I would cosplay as Toph. I would get like avatar things of Toph. I still have a Toph pin on my bag to this day. I love Toph. I rewatched it with my sister a few years ago when it returned to Netflix. Yes! Oh my god. And we won't talk about the Netflix remake because I have not watched the Netflix remake. I know it's literally worse than M. Night Shyamalan. But like, for that to be the case means it has to be so bad that I haven't seen it and I don't want to discuss it. I have to be like in a good mindset place, especially because it got renewed for book 2 and book 3. And I'm gonna kill someone. So we're not gonna talk about it. But yeah, the actual cartoon still holds up. Like, I wish that it was, I don't know how to explain it. Literally impossible. I know. Very mad about it getting renewed, but it is what it is. But it also is not impossible. The Netflix show is worse than M. Night Shyamalan. That's what I've been told. And from the little bits and pieces I've seen, it is true. I saw the 2010 film on opening day too. So it came out, I believe it came out on my birthday. And so me and my friends and my sister went to go see it in theaters in cosplay. Like, we weren't in cosplay, but we had t-shirts that we had made, just like basic iron on a picture, you know, back in 2010, with the like images of our characters. Not July 1st. Okay, so it wasn't on my birthday, but it was in birthday month. I'm a July baby. So we planned to go see it as like my birthday thing. And I was wearing a Toph shirt, and then my sister has Katara because they're literally sisters. And also we were them to a nutshell. And then my other friends had like Aang and Zuko and Sokka and like all that kind of jazz. And it was awesome. It was dope as hell. I loved it very, very much. Yeah. Damn, I love Avatar. But yeah. So the little baby convention we're going to is Avatar themed this weekend. So I'm excited. I'm hoping I will get May's voice actress to sign my book. Because one of my goals is to get every Avatar voice actor to sign my comic, which is the whatever the very first one they made is. There's a hardcover version of that first 3 in hardcover, and it was the first Avatar comic like they really truly made, where it's a continuation of the story. I can't remember what it's called. And I got the hardcover, and so I've had Zuko sign it. Dante Bosco's amazing, cool man. And I've had Grey Delisle, Azula, sign it. She's incredible as well. She opened the book. She was so amazing. She opened the book, so I had Zuko sign it first. And she goes, I see you've already had my stupid brother sign this. Like, I love her so much. And then I was like, yeah, sorry, I met him first. And she's like, okay. And she signs it and she goes, well, here, you're banished, Rachel. Leave my sight for getting that signature. I was like, okay. It was amazing. I love her. Oh my God. He was great too. I was in full Joker cosplay when I met him. I was young. Still young, but I was young. And he just was drunk off his ass, and it was a wonderful, excellent time. But they were both sweet. So hopefully at this convention this weekend, I can get May to sign the book too. And then, you know, I just need everybody else's. Okay. All right, my friend. I have been... Let me take a sip of death water, because I'm going to need it today. Woo! Been doing a lot of activity today. It's warm today. I'm going to need the caffeine. I was outside with my cat for like, for an hour, maybe an hour and a half, because it was at almost 70 degrees where I'm at. So we were outside walking through the backyard and going on adventures and laying in the stuff. So I've been an active day. Would you be interested in my armchair dialect thoughts on Azula? Theta, I am always interested in what you have to say. Please. Why don't you give me your armchair dialect thoughts, and feel free to like send them out in multiple messages, because while you type it out, I'm gonna start the episode, just so editing me, you know, isn't like, why did you wait like 2 hours to start it? So I'll start the episode, do our little introduction, and then I'll pause so I can read through your thoughts, because that'll be chill. So feel free to give them to me. Take your time typing. I'll give our little YouTube intro. So, hello, YouTube. Welcome to Voicing Artists Original Characters. This is episode 41, I believe. We are working with a character today who is very cool, very down to earth. The artist is named Mokshin, pronoun she, her, and our character is named Keith Casimiro, or Casey for short, pronoun she, her. So for my live stream people, let me pull up the image for you. And I can't stream deck it today, so I'm just going to have to do it on the desktop. Here we go. So for Casey, we actually have one of our character sheets where the artist has given us traits about things that they like and things that they have interest in and questions about them and nicknames, which some artists do when they're developing characters. So we'll go through this. Their nickname is Casey. That's what we'll be calling them. Birthday, December 17th. They love someone who makes them feel alive, which I do believe there's some girlfriends happening in this universe. Their favorite color is pink. Their favorite smell is lavender and coffee. Interesting combination. Favorite snack is, I'll be honest, I don't know what that says. I can't quite read the handwriting. I think it says boy belong, which might be something I don't know. Let me see if I can Google it while I'm sitting here. Oh, interesting. Interesting. It looks like a Filipino snack. So, a Filipino corn nut snack. Cool. We love that. All right, we'll go back to the character sheet. Their favorite sport is volleyball. Their favorite hobbies are singing and hiking. Again, two very different sort of pathways for their hobbies. One is very physical activity. One is sort of a little bit calmer. I guess it's still physical activity because you're dealing with, your voice. Favorite TV series is Adventure Time. Yeah, I get that energy from the way that this is drawn with all the cutesy stickers and stuff. Favorite movie is Your Name, which is a good movie. I think I've seen that one. I'm not sure. I saw one of the two that were coming out close to each other, and I don't remember which one. And favorite band or singer is Ben and Ben. And then there's a cute little message for your fans at the bottom that says, I have fans, ? Which I'm guessing is because she must play an instrument while she sings. It looks like she has a guitar case. So I'm wondering if she sings and plays guitar. Another thing I find interesting is that her favorite color is pink, but she's not wearing any pink. She has a lot of pink on her character sheet, which is really, really cute. And I love the hearts with the little rabbits and the strawberry bunny. But the idea that she's wearing all green with white, then again, this could be a school uniform. So maybe that's why there's no pink. But interesting to have that be your favorite color and not, rep it anywhere on your clothing. But again, could be a school uniform. We do have some other images with us here today, so let's take a look. Now, this one is a beautiful portrait piece. I really like the art style of this. It's very different from our more like anime-ish style. And this one is very smooth. It's painterly almost, where the sky is this almost like meshed together oily thing of clouds and a blue punctured with this like whitish cream maybe is a good color for what the clouds color are. And then it's got the white seagulls or white birds in the background. And it has this beautiful sunlight that is coming around the edge of her face and her hair here and her body that I think is really pretty coming along the side. She also has headphones in and a pretty decent DSLR style camera. This will come into play in a bit because we're going to talk a little bit about why she has a camera and what exactly she's into and or does. She's also got some pretty heavy clothing on for this weather, so I'm guessing it's not quite summer weather. It's a bit chillier because she's got a big jacket on here, and I love the flowers in the back. And then we have 3 individual pictures. So we have a standing pose, which is her with her arm on her shoulder here, and that music case, which is, again, interesting. Woo! Hiccups are here. It's because I already drank the death water. So we have her standing here, which might be the picture from the original. I think it is. We have those 3 individually, is essentially what it is. So the individual version of this does look more like it's in uniform, like school uniform style, which is pretty interesting. And then we have her with the camera. So this is her fixing the lens or holding the camera. She is wearing classic camera strap, like photographer style. But her hair is also in this little baby anime style ponytail, which I love. No! I knew you existed. Okay, hold on, guys. Goddamn ant. Swear to Lord. Okay, hold on. You have to die, little buddy. Oh no, did he fall? Yes, he did. My little guy, you gotta die. Yeah, you can't live. I don't like ants, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I do not like ants. Ah, fuck. Alright. Hold on, y'all. We'll be back. We'll be back. Let me go throw them away. Oh, if I can figure out what I'm doing. Because I don't... What a day to not have a stream deck. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, y'all. We're back. Everything should be fine. We're gonna do best not to talk about it because otherwise I'm gonna have to stop streaming because that's how my little mind works, is the more we dwell on it, the worse it's gonna get. So, I can already... Yep, we're already doing it. I'm already touching things. So, we're not gonna dwell on it. We're gonna... I'm gonna answer your things, Theta, and then we're gonna go back to the episode, try and keep our mind off of it here. So... Theta, you say, I may be crazy, but I think Azula has some variation on a transatlantic accent, which happens to, perhaps coincidentally, mirror the accent Mark Hamill uses for Ozai. Here's where I really start speaking of things I do not know. I feel like the placement of the voice is interesting. Certainly not all chest, but also not all head. I think you're correct, Theta. I think your argument that it's a variation on transatlantic could be very accurate. Because she's a little less nasally, right? And you're right that it's not her chest. It's in her mouth. Is probably where I'd put her, maybe in the cheeks a little bit. Because she's very, let's see. Do I have a quote? Let me see if I can get a quote. Let's see. Azula quotes. Yeah. So like the famous one where she's like, there's two. She's got the, don't flatter yourself. You were never even a player. That's very cheeks. That's very teeth. That's very teethy. Or the, maybe you should worry less about the tides, who've already made up their mind about killing you, and more about me, who's still mulling it over. Yeah, it's very front of the mouth, teeth held up here, which is a little transatlantic, right? Because transatlantic is a little bit like this, where it's almost British, but it's not. And so it's up here and it's in the front. And honestly, yeah, that's in the same placement. Is the very, like, Sorry for those who don't like mouth noises. That's where it's at. So I think your argument that it's kind of a weird variation fits. And Grey DeLisle's voice kind of already sits there because her like natural voice is kind of Daphne, since she's played Daphne for so many years, and Daphne is just Azula without the steroids. Azula is about the same position, just with a little bit of like an attitude on it. Half American, half English, all better than you. Yeah, it's weird because it's this like middle point of like we're kind of up here and speaking. So I also naturally, my voice is held in my mouth, but it's back here. So I kind of speak like right at that point that's like here, which is where my pitch and my speaking is, versus all the way up here in the front, which is closer to where Azula is in her voice. She's in the front. Mine is back here. And it's not just pitch, because if I put my pitch back here, but it's on Azula's pitch, it now becomes here. You can see how much I'm squeezing to put that pitch that's supposed to be at the front of the mouth all the way back here. It's possible. It's just difficult. But I really like that. Yeah, I would say it's almost not chest at all, to be argumentative. I've been toying with the idea of the Azula voice as Posh Mandy. You know? You raise a point. Azula's voice is very posh. Hi, Fox Daddy. It's good to see you. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here. We are talking about Avatar because I'm going to an Avatar convention this weekend. And so we've started talking about Azula because Theta has this concept that Azula's voice is like a weird transatlantic posh combination. And I 100% agree. I do think it sits there. Hi, Allison! Oh my god! Wait, hi! I haven't seen you in so long! Oh my goodness, I miss you too, Allison! Chat, for those who don't know, Allison is someone that I have met up with in person before. She's a lovely, lovely human being. Hello! Welcome to Catching a Stream! Thanks for stopping in. I hope you're doing alright. How has life been? Azula is a princess. She would take great pride in how she speaks. Yes. Yes, she would. And she does sit in that posh territory of like, I'm in charge, right? Just without the nasal a little bit, because she brings it into the front of her mouth. So she's down here speaking in this tone when she's doing all her lines instead of up here. So it's just a little bit of a jump. I know, I haven't seen you in forever, Allison. I am nowhere near where we met last time. I am back to the Midwest, so that makes a great deal of sense from a character point of view. Yeah, it does. Honestly, a lot of the characters, their voices are really well. So voice actors tend to do things thought out without meaning to. Grey DeLisle's a very experienced voice actor, so I wouldn't be surprised that she subconsciously was able to do that. Aang's voice actor got lucky as fuck, or they got lucky as fuck, because he's not a voice actor. He's just a child, and then never did acting ever again. So they got lucky with how amazing he is. And that's why a lot of the live actions are like, oof, because they can't really replicate Aang super well, or they keep trying to tie him down, whereas they pick good kids and can't tie them down. She's definitely egotistic and condescending with her speech. Oh, so much so. We were going through her quotes, and, like, her quotes are always like, oh, you're nowhere near, like, what I am type of energy. Like, don't flatter yourself, you know? I've been hanging in there since my dad passed in 2021 from throat cancer. Oh, Allison, I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm sending you so much good energy. And I send good vibes your way. I keep a watch on your YouTube and stuff when you post. And I know that you've been going strong there. And so I send positive vibes your way. And I know that you can handle anything that gets thrown at you. He wasn't an actor and just stopped. No, he was not an actor. He was, I think, Aang's age, like 12. He was the only one that was the actual age. He was 12. He did Aang. And mind you, he is the only person. They casted a 12-year-old non-voice actor who is the only one they casted that never was in contact or acted with anyone else. Some of the other actual actors had takes, had versions of everyone else's lines, or were in the booth with everyone else in order to record and play off of them. Aang's actor never, or very rarely, like you can watch an interview with him, ever heard anyone else's takes, ever even met anyone else. And this kid was not an actor. They got very, very lucky. I feel like many Azula impressions tend to overdo the nasality. I think so too, Theta. Because you want to, when you go to this front portion, if you're not comfortable talking in the front part of your mouth, you're almost always going to go up into your nose. So you go very like, don't flatter yourself. So you have to take this out and go, not just center of the mouth, I think, but if you're a naturally higher pitched person, you actually got to go like to the chin and to the lower part. You got to go with like a, don't flatter yourself. You were never even a player. So that you're eating it right there to cheeks. And I also think impressionists, the thing with impressions is people have a natural vocal tone that will always be missing, regardless of who does the impression. I've been going strong. Oh, I love you so much. Oh, love you too, Allison. I'm sending you good energy, okay? I'm glad you're doing well. Okay, guys, feel free to keep talking in the chat if you would like. Feel free to lurk. Feel free to peace out, whatever you're comfortable doing. I'm going to continue with our episode, and I'll check chat when I can. But I want to make sure we get this episode done so that we are able to talk afterwards. And also we got something ready to go. And this character's really cool today. So we will be working with it. So let's see. We will always distract you. I know you will, Fox Daddy. I know. Okay, so we're working with this character who is named Casey, and we were looking at some of the headshot images. This one in particular, I really, really like because she's got an expression on her face that is not smiling. It's not sad. I wouldn't even call it angry. It's a very weird expression to where I'm like, what exactly is her emotion in this moment? Like, she kind of feels like, I don't know, like somebody called her name and she's like, what do you need from me? Like maybe a little surprise, maybe a little I can't help you. Maybe there's a little of I'm trying to get the shot, like ask somebody else. I don't know. And the last picture we have is her headshot, which is just a very basic, very simple smile. Yay. I like doing what I'm doing. And it's going to add to the personality traits that we're going to talk about that the artist gave me and the ones that I created, because I think it resonates a lot with what the artist is talking about. So let's get into those artist personality traits. Okay, so the personality traits that the artist gave me, well, a little bit of background, just a tiny bit. This is Mokshin, who is our artist. This is one of their main characters for their upcoming story, Read Between the Lines. Casey is a photojournalist, which is why every time we see her, as my necklace twists around, boop, 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 which is why every time we see her with like this camera in one of these shots because she's a photojournalist. So photojournalists are people who are taking the pictures when articles in the paper or online or video news are talking about like the news, whether it's wars, whether it's, local news, whether it's animal news, whatever it is, she's the person going out to take the pictures. So think like Spider-Man style, where she's going to capture photos. So some character personality traits that the artist gave me. She said she's very easygoing. Nope, that's not words. The artist said Casey is very easygoing. That's what I was trying to say. She vibes with every person she meets, which is interesting because if you're easygoing, if you're laid back, if you're calm, right, you do tend to get along with everyone. It's not always because you vibe with them, though. Sometimes it's just you're good at assimilating or accommodating to the people that are around you. So the fact that she does kind of vibe with everyone means that she probably has a personality that is very carefree and isn't so stuck up on like this and that and this and that. The last thing that the artist said was that sometimes she gets a little too competitive, especially with the things that she loves. So I would imagine if she's going to like get photos for a certain, article that she cares about or a news story she's covering, and there are other maybe slimier or less practiced people trying to get shots and sell them before her, she might get a little competitive and maybe not do things the right way. Theta, I also appreciate your choice of quotes. Gray seems to have a preference for fish out of water, Ember Island, vacation, Azula. She absolutely does. There is no way Gray is taking a character like Azula and not loving having her say the weirdest lines, because they sound cool when you're a kid, and when you watch them in context, you're like, oh, the villain. But if you take them out of the context, every single thing she says is Ember Island players. There is no normal thing that she says. You take them out of context and you're like, that's a weird line. And that's why I love Azula. Did you watch the documentary of Quiet on the Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV? It's deep, dark, and very cold. So I haven't watched the documentary. I'm not a huge documentary person, but I've seen enough TikTok clips, and I was a little bit into the side of it with like the Jeanette McCurdy stuff and things like that. And there's always been sort of the people that have been talking about the Dan Schneider stuff, although I know there were more people that came out in the documentary. So I know a lot of what happened. I've seen clips on TikTok. I've seen people talk about it. It sucks. That kind of shit sucks. And thank God for some of the young actors who got out of it and didn't have a problem and were okay to like not be abused. Thank the Lord. Seven, hello Seven. It's good to see you tonight. How do you do to all of you? Decided to tune in since I just finished a Lethal Company playthrough. Oh my God, I want to play Lethal Company. That's the one where you can talk to each other, right? Is that the one where you're trying to you have like proximity chat and you're trying to like take things back to the ship? Is that one Lethal Company? Am I correct? I might be wrong, but I know a lot of people are playing that one and I'm very interested in it. How did your playthrough go? Did you manage to like do well for most of the rounds? Were you playing, that is the one, okay. Were you playing with friends? Did you manage to do well? How did it go? Is it your type of game? And while y'all chat and y'all think, I'll continue talking here. So I have some notes for Casey, the character that we are working on today. Only a few personality-wise, because I do think the artist gave us ones that are very descriptive and we'll be able to use. But my notes for Casey are breezy, carefree, level-headed, all terms that go with the idea that she's easygoing and vibes with all people. I also have, on the opposite end, where we get to the competitive side, I have confident, because you have to be strong and confident in your abilities and what you do and what your job is and what your career is and what your passion is in order to do something like photojournalism. Because a lot of people are either going to shut you down or you're going to be in dangerous situations trying to get the gig and get the photo. So it makes sense that she has some confidence in her abilities. And I also have ambitious and resourceful. I think with her competitive nature and with the field she's in, she has the capabilities to not only gung-ho and try to get better photos or get better positions or do a better job than maybe some people who are lazy but outrank her. I think she is ambitious enough to say, I can show that I can do better than you. I also think she's resourceful because you're not going to have a lot of things handed to you in that type of a career. You have to go get them. You have to seek them out. You got to get in between and offer people things in order to get the info you need. And the last one I have is bold or gussy? What? No, Rachel. The last one I have is bold or gutsy. Another thing about you have to get in the action. You have to get right up in the danger. You have to be able to throw yourself and your own sense of self-worth and your own life out of the way in order to get the information and the pictures. She's got to be bold and brave in some way. I'm going to be collaborating with my friend Chris Grant Jr. on Wednesday. He's going to be on my podcast again, and we're going to share our thoughts on the documentary. Oh, that's exciting, Allison. Is that going to be one that goes up on your YouTube? Because if it's on your YouTube, I should get a notification. So I'll definitely have to check it out. I don't know if I'll watch the whole thing because I don't care for those kind of topics that the documentary goes through. But I'll definitely give it a like, and I'll check it in my notifications. So that way we can be like, yes. And I'm always interested when people discuss thoughts on things because I like to hear, I like to talk. So I like to hear other people giving their opinions and ideas about what happens. Yes, it's going to be on my channel. Awesome, Allison. Okay, I should get the notification then. Thanks for telling me. That's interesting. Played with my friends and a few friends of friends. We played modded, so we had around 6 of us. The original server max is 4 players. Oh, okay. Wow, 4 players isn't a lot. 4 players is like old Wii era of games. Actually, couldn't the Wii have 8 for like Mario Kart? Like, that's old-timey is 4 players, but fair enough. Sometimes that's just the better way to go. Did you find it easier or harder with 6 people? Was it like too many cooks in the kitchen style of agenda? Or was it kind of like, oh, at least someone can live and go get the money and sell all the items? Chris Grant Jr. was the speaking voice of Tyrone in the season 4 of Backyardigans. No way! Wait, dude, Allison, that is awesome! Oh my god! That's so cool that you get to talk to him. Well, I hope you get to talk to him about things other than the documentary. Like, are you gonna get to ask him about, like, his career or his life or anything like that? Because that would be super, super fun. Good for you. Oh my god. I used to watch The Backyardigans as a kid. That was a good show. It was just pure chaos. We were all speaking nonsense. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Oh, I can imagine that. Just like all voices coming from all sides, and then something spooks up on you, and so you just hear screaming, and you're like, what is happening? Yes, of course. Okay, good, Allison. Good. Because I'll be interested in that part for sure. I always love hearing about people's careers and stuff, especially voice actors. Yes, I'm a huge fan of The Backyardigans. Yes, I remember seeing those. I see those episodes, and they go up on your YouTube. We had an entire 5-minute session of us just going, hi, welcome to Chili's. Can I get a Big Mac and a large Coke? Oh no, 7. 7, that is how, I'm not claiming anything about you or your group, but from a neurodivergent person, that is like my everyday life. Is like I get stuck on a bit with friends or people I'm talking to, and then we just rehash the bit for the next 20 minutes. Oh my god. 6 Degrees of Separation. Zach Tyler Eisen was in Backyardigans in addition to Avatar, as I recall. Was he in Backyard? Doesn't he play Pablo? Didn't he play Pablo as a kid? I think he did. Because I know he did something in order for the Avatar people to be like, oh, well, you can probably do this. And then he just didn't do it. He like went to high school and went to college. But that's cool. Avatar to Backyardigans and back. I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's do some voice lines for this character, and let's also look at this art a little bit. So I want to go back to this portrait one that we're looking at first and say this really resonates with our easygoing, our calm, cool, our calm, cool, collected. And the reason for this is her smile is very, very like flat. It just ever so slightly turns up on the corners, and her eyes are very neutral. Her expression is very neutral. She's not doing any like excited energy body movement. She's not showing her teeth. Her eyes aren't super wide. She's just kind of, and that's her smile. So her happiness, her excitement comes to her in a very calm, gentle state. She's not someone who gets loud. She's not someone who jumps all over the place. She's someone who just has a nice smile and calls it a day and really enjoys in what's happening. The other one that I want to look at here is the portrait because this also has a little bit of a smile. It's kind of a neutral expression, but with the little glow in her eyes and just the teeniest bit of positioning of her head turning, I would argue that you could say it's still a bit of a smile or comforting. This one, though, I would say is closer to, oh, this is a beautiful landscape. This is a beautiful shot. I'm gonna get a picture of this. And it's just kind of taking in the moment of, wow, this is really nice. I'm thankful to be here, rather than, oh my goodness, I'm really happy. And I think that stands out in this image with not just that, but the lighting as well, because it's a very soft glow, which is further emphasizing the idea that this is a soft and gentle happiness moment. And we might take from this picture in order to do our scene for happiness. We'll see. All right, so we'll go back up here. Actually, I think I want to look at this one. Yeah, so this one has a much bigger smile. It's almost as if she's seeing a friend and she's like, oh, hey, right? Or she's laughing or giggling about their joke. It's open-mouthed. Her body pose is one arm over, so a little closed, but the rest of her is very wide and open. Her hand is in her pocket, a little bit more casual. Her hair is just kind of free going. Her head's turned. So this is a bit more of what we think of when we do the happiness emotion, which is free flowing, a little bit louder, a little bit funnier, a little bit more physical. Let's see, what are we saying in chat? There was another time when we all had bee-themed suits and go, you like jazz, the entire time we walked from the ship to the facility. No, not the Bee Movie, Seven. Oh my God. Oh, not the Bee Movie. That's a good quote, though. You like jazz? The creator of the Backyardigans passed away last month. Janice Burgess. She passed right after her birthday. Wow, that's a crazy coincidence, but, you know, was she very old? I feel like maybe if she created the Backyardigans, she might have been an older woman, but at least she had something that she really enjoyed that she created. That's all that we can ever hope for, is like to be able to put something out into the world that we really enjoyed, and hopefully other people can get enjoyment from it too. And other people do, clearly, which is awesome. Okay, so let's do this happy line of dialogue. I want to do two of them. I want to combine, possibly do two separate, or, ooh, hiccups are here, or do two in one. I want to start with this version of her that's a bit more open, a bit more loud about her happiness, where maybe she's having a conversation with her friends. And then I want to transition into the more portrait-styled one, where it's softer, it's gentle, it's witnessing a beautiful moment versus being in the beautiful moment. So we're going to try and combine both of them here. So we'll start with this one, and we'll probably keep this one on the screen, and then we'll see if we can transition. For her vocal tone, I am thinking that I want to keep her voice a little bit lower, because oftentimes folks who are cool, collected, gentle, easygoing don't tend to be super high-pitched, because they don't necessarily feel the need to be as loud, to be as yelly, to have their voice be heard. So they're a bit, quieter, softer, lower voice. They don't use as much effort when they speak. And when you don't use a lot of effort, usually you're kind of in your lower rambly space. Not rambly, what? You're in your lower... Why can't I think of the word? This is what people get. This is what the live viewers get, that people watch the edited episodes will never know, is me trying to think of the word. Raspy. That's the word I want. When you are not putting a lot of effort into making yourself be heard, even for positive reasons, you tend to stay in this lower, raspier range because you're just putting enough in to break the barrier rather than go full force. So I think we're going to keep her a little lower, a little softer, and see where that transitions into. She was 72 and she retired in 2014. Okay, well, I'm glad she got to live a good life then. That's important. And she had something passionate that she made and people get to enjoy. Well, that's good. All right, let's try this happy line of dialogue. No, I get it. I get it. What? I just think you're funny, okay? Am I not allowed? Do you not want me to think you're funny? I don't know. Not everyone can pull out the energy that you do. Maybe that's why we're friends. Hey, do you see that? Look, over there. Yeah, that's a beautiful sunset. That's a beautiful sunset. Huh. Never thought we would be out this late to see something like that. Oh, I gotta get a picture. Huh. I'm glad we're here. And we could witness this together. Oh, I like that. I like the transition of like, no, you're funny, I enjoy you, like we're friends, we're hanging out, we're really happy, to a soft, gentle like, oh, let's live and breathe and take a second in this beautiful, happy moment that we are here and we are witnessing. I think it's a very good combination of those two different forms of happy for Casey, because I think she lives in both of those strongly. I would also say it went differently, and this is something I love about improv, especially for voice acting. It went a lot differently than I thought it was going to, because I thought that it would be a harsher transition or a slower transition, maybe a better way of saying it, from, haha, this is a moment I'm enjoying, to, like, now we're calm and we're enjoying and we're living in this beautiful, peaceful moment. But she talks relatively quickly, which is not something I was planning. I like to naturally let that occur. But for some reason, it just felt kind of right for her to be someone who talks and not someone who's sitting on the sidelines and quiet and silent. She has a lower voice. She's definitely easygoing, a little contemplative, likes to listen to the other person, but she's not someone who doesn't have words to form her thoughts. She's not someone who is actively choosing not to speak. She's here. She'll tell you what she thinks. She's confident enough to give you her answer, to take initiative and be like, hey, look at that. We should watch that. That's really cool. To acknowledge the moment she's in. So I think that pulled out a lot of the confidence that I had mentioned, because we went into it feeling a bit too complacent. And the character itself pulled away that complacency. And while we were doing the improv, was like, no. Remember, we're confident. We take initiative. And mixed it together to create a really interesting result. If I was on the Backyardigans, I definitely would have auditioned for Uniqua. Yes, Allison. She's such a good character. That's not even a plot that I know of, but I already know that there would be a heartbreaking death scene. Oh, no. No, we don't want any heartbreaking death scenes, please. No heartbreaking death scenes. No. Oh, Lord. We'll keep it a plot that we don't know of. Okay, let's see. So next, after we've done happy, we're going to do angry. So I think I want to move to this picture because, again, this picture gives me really weird emotion energy. I don't know that it's angry. I don't know that it's sad. It's not happy. It's hard to wrap my head around and to vocalize what exactly this picture is giving in terms of energy, in terms of emotion. I don't know if I want to fully define what kind of energy this picture is giving me. We're going to do our angry emotion, but what if we just play with whatever type of angry and with whatever extra feelings come with it based on a scene that we create around this picture. Let us use what the artist has given us in the dishevelment of her hair, in the way that she's looking over her shoulder and not turning her body to face the person she's talking to, in the way that her mouth is shaped in a way almost where she could be yelling, she could be making fun of someone, she could be upset. Her hands are still focused on her camera. They're holding it strong, as if she was in the moment trying to pay attention, and she doesn't want to give whatever is distracting her any ounce of her time or her creative brain or anything, right? She wants to be focused in on what is occurring. Something is taking her out, and that's causing her to have a reaction. I want to take the energy of what the artist has given us here and really roll with it to see if it gives us and feeds our idea of anger. Will it feed into frustration? Will it feed into impatience? Will it feed into words, Rachel? Exhaustion? Will it feed into hate? I don't know, but we'll find out what it goes into. Scene-wise, I do like the idea that something is pulling her out, something's distracting her from this shot she's trying to get, or this place she's trying to go into that's maybe a bit more dangerous in order to get these photos for the journal, for the journalist that she works for. Or possibly for herself. Maybe she writes her own journalism and then just takes the photos with it. Don't know. But I like the idea that someone is either teasing her or telling her not to do it or distracting her from the shot, and this is her response moment. So if we want to tinge it a little bit with anger, I'm thinking that the person who's distracting her has to have some sort of either authority over her, or perhaps they have negative intentions, whether they mean to have that or not. They do. Or maybe they're making a comment that irks her and sits with her in a way that makes her feel inferior or unwanted or uneducated, etc., etc. I like this idea that there is a rival photographer there who does sort of what she does, and he maybe outranks her a little bit, or at least is seen as someone who is her superior, even though his photos aren't as good as hers, or he doesn't know the techniques that she knows, or maybe he does things a little underhanded and in a way that they shouldn't be done. Maybe he takes some bribes or gives some bribes. Maybe he invades some people's privacy, like paparazzi style. Whatever the case may be, it's methods that she doesn't agree with. And also, not only are those methods sort of swept under the rug, but they are almost ignored maybe by people who take his photos and pay him for his photos, because since he's sort of breaking rules, he gets really good shots. And so other people are enabling him, and he has this great reputation, even though she knows the underside of it. And so maybe we get a little upset when he tries to commentate on the way she's doing things or how she's not as good as him, etc., etc. So let's try that for our angry and see how it goes. If I wanted your advice, I would ask, you are only the top journalist because everyone is too afraid to say what you've really been doing to get those pictures. Some of us have ethics and morals and actually care about the stories we are telling instead of just trying to, I don't know, get a paycheck and not caring about the people we might hurt in the process. Listen, you can talk about my skills or my lack of experience, or hell, you can come at me because I'm a woman. But do not come after my character, because I promise you, you won't win that fight. And for the record, my photos are way better than yours. Wait, okay, why is she funny? I love that that's what her energy pulled out of me, is the little snapback, the little insult, the funny quip at the end. She really did come across as like genuinely angry because she's like, listen, you need to stop talking. Your ego's way too huge for a man that is rude, for a man that doesn't care about the people he hurts, etc., etc. I will not go down that road. I don't care if it would get me a better photo. I'm not willing to do that. Like, don't insult my character. There was definitely anger in there. I could feel it. It was interesting because in a calm, cool, collected character, the anger doesn't yell, it doesn't scream, it doesn't physically come out, it barely vocalizes. In these types of characters, it is pinpointed, it is targeted, sometimes it is hot, sometimes it is spiky, but it's not all over the place. It's not a firecracker, it's not a fire like a lot of anger in more forward characters are. These characters, if they're going to be something hot like that, they tend to be bubbly. And I think that's what hers was there was a little bit of a bubble, but it didn't bubble and bubble and bubble and volcano. It was almost like tar or the magma that's like still going to hurt you and still vicious and still deadly, but it's slow moving and it'll grab you from your feet and start burning and singeing and damaging you before you realize that you're in it. And then you're like, uh-oh. And that is where her anger came from. It's also how it displayed, was she didn't have this instinct of getting loud or even trying to take the power from him. That was something that resonated while I was doing the piece. A lot of times when we are angry, we are trying to gain control back. We are trying to take power away from the thing that made us angry and give the power back to ourselves. She did not need to do that. Her confidence in who she is, what she does, and herself as a character, her own beliefs, her own moral standpoints were strong enough that her anger didn't need to take control because it hadn't lost control. It didn't need to take power because it didn't lose the power. All it did was spread, and it needed to make the person she's talking to remember who she is and remember that they're on the same footing. If not, she's above them. And so it was interesting to play with a character whose anger did not feel the need to go directly for the throat. It was a very calm, just like her, very low anger of, I'm upset that other people listen to you. I don't like you. I want you to know I don't like you. But I don't need your approval. I just don't like you. And I think you need to be pushed down a peg. And that came through very tangibly. In the vocal, the pace that she spoke at, a lot slower, not super slow compared to some we've worked with, like medium. There's a bit of a speed up in there, but she was dragging her words. So it was evident there. And she kept the low, she kept the growl. She added a lot of like what sarcastic characters do, where they've got spite in their words and they're almost flinging attitude at you. Very attitude heavy anger. And then at the end, she had flipped it and gave this comeback, this quip of like, oh, but you are shit and I'm better. And I love the fact that she felt the need to end it in a bit of, if you don't believe me, or if you aren't listening to what I have to say, my photos are still better than yours. So it's not just about character. I am actually better than you on an intellectual level. So there was a little bit of, maybe a little bit of pleasure in that end statement. And I don't think it's wrong or immoral to have your anger have a little bit of vindictiveness in it, a little bit of pleasure in it. And I was not planning for her to get quippy. A lot of angers don't. But something naturally just wanted to have this ending line of like, oh, I'm the one with the last word, and the last word was good. And I love when natural instincts take over and really hone you into the character. So that was fun. And I love that for her anger. So let's do our last one. Our last one is sadness. Now, we don't have any drawings here that are particularly her being sad. All of them are relatively smiley, or it's that one we just worked with. So I might just put on her regular profile photo here. So this one isn't going to represent our sadness, but it'll be something that we have on screen for a reference of Casey. So what would make Casey sad? Well, if what makes her happy is just sort of living and breathing in a very nice moment, experiencing on a calm level her friends and maybe beautiful sights, and then what makes her angry is someone else getting the recognition and keeping the recognition that she knows she can beat, then perhaps something that would make her sad could be, because we've given her such a strong moral compass, the sadness could come from watching people, especially people's lives, get affected in the news articles and the journalist articles that she writes about. Because she might go for things that have deeper or heavier topics in order to make an impact. And I think sometimes those things can be really saddening. They can really hit us hard. And if she, meets and speaks with a family who has gone through some sort of tragedy, or people who are living in a tragic place, that might strike a chord with her and make her upset and make her more passionate about getting the article out there. Hi, Dark Mega. Welcome. We're on our sad line. We're going to be finishing this up, and then we will be doing auditions, talking to chat, and all that kind of jazz. So welcome, welcome. So, for her sad, I do want to use that situation where, let's say she is taking photos of, what did I watch recently? I watched a show recently where there was like a building collapse. So we're going to say it's a building collapse. Maybe it's an apartment complex or something. And she is taking photos of it for the article, for the journalism. And then she has the ability to speak with some of the families that were affected. And that strikes a chord with her and makes her kind of sad, makes her upset, and then she will be in this moment, and I think the moment will end with a little bit of positivity because it just kind of feels like that's the nature of her personality, where she's a bit of a comforter, but we'll see. Did you hear the music I put in the last stream? I listened to one or two of them. I did not listen to all of them because I was working on editing audio this past week. But I did listen to one or two. I don't remember the names. And I'm going to talk to our guest from Wednesday to see if we can set up a command so you can add the music to a public playlist. And then I can just listen to them from there rather than Googling them all. So I'll figure that out, hopefully for the next stream, which will be next Monday because we won't have one on Wednesday this week. And then you'll be able to do that on Monday. So that way I have the whole list right in front of me. Okay. So, let's see here. Let's do our sad line with that scenario. Hi. I'm with Action News. I'm the journalist investigating the building collapse. I was hoping I could speak with you about how it affected you, maybe your community. If that's okay. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Oh. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was... That's terrible. Are you okay? Is your family okay? I understand. Not having a place to go can be traumatizing, scary. And no hotels will let you have a night or two, or any insurance, or you couldn't afford insurance. I'm sorry. I wish I had the answers for you. I do. I don't really know what to say. What if I can see if maybe I can see if I can scrounge up funds or something to give you a place in a shelter for a night? Would that be helpful? Yeah. I'm sorry I couldn't do more, genuinely. Okay. Okay. I'll contact you as soon as I can. Yeah, that's kind of the route I thought it was gonna go, is like this very gentle, very almost motherly, like the mother friend of the group, where she is sad and hurt that these other people are suffering and that they have no place to go now. You know, they might be safe physically, but maybe the news or the people don't care about them because they all made it out alive. So the news is like, well, other people were hurt or injured. You guys just have to figure it out. But what are they supposed to do, right? They don't have a place to go. Nothing will cover hotels or shelters or things like that. So I think while she would be in this moment of like genuine sadness and feeling for this group and wishing that she could magically fix all their problems, which did resonate in that dialogue of trying to be like, can you do this? Can you do that? She also is very much a solution-based person. And she is very much a talkative person, which again, I never would have expected from her. But in all of these pieces, she has enough confidence, she has enough control that she is someone who continuously is trying to speak her truth. Not that she speaks over people, but that she is sort of a person who is less based in emotions taking over and more based in how can I help? What do I need to do? What is the solution? What do we say? She takes action. Rather than letting the feelings take control, she takes actions. And sometimes those actions come in what do I say? How do I comfort? Etc. And when she realized that she couldn't comfort with words, she didn't have anything that would make them feel better or make her feel better in this moment, her brain goes to, I have to try. I have to do an action. I have to start something. I have to help. And that is where this idea of like, well, let me see what I can do. Let me raise funds. Let me do whatever I can. And this nature of someone who is a protector, who is a guardian, who is solution-based comes forward. And I think that sits with her personality and what the artist told us about her and what we've been finding out about her really well. Because often easygoing people are either in the side of, oh, I sit back, I watch, and I let everything happen, and I never step in. Or they're on the side of, I'm comfortable and vibing and easygoing because I am actively choosing to do things and choosing to say things that make the people around me feel better and feel hiccups and feel more comfortable in the scenario we're in. I do what I can. And she falls on that side of the spectrum. And I love playing characters like that because it really gives you an insight into how they prioritize other people, other people's emotions, other people's scenarios, sometimes over their own, but also sometimes it's not over their own, it's just which one is more important in this moment. And she still sat in her sadness. She still sat in her grief with these people. But she was able to sit in it and then realize that this grief is coming through empathy. So her way of not just wallowing in this sadness through this empathy of feeling for this family is by fixing the problem for the family. Because if she can make them feel comfortable and happy and solve their issue of not having a place to go, now they are supported, and so is she. She doesn't need to sit in her own emotion. She doesn't need to fix her emotion. She goes straight to the source, like a photojournalism would. Go to the source to figure out what the issue is, recognize it, and do what she can about it. I love that for Casey. Okay, so that is all that we are working with Casey today. Thank you to our artist, Mokshin, for letting us work with this character. She was a lovely, lovely person to get into the mindset of and really feel out and voice today. Reminder that she is a main character of Mokshin's story, Read Between the Lines. So follow Mokshin on Instagram or wherever you find them so that you can stay up to date with this character in her new story and meet all the other ones too. Other than that, I will say to my folks who are watching the edited YouTube video, thank you for stopping by. You are always welcome to join us live in chat, 9 p.m. EST on Mondays and Wednesdays. We have an excellent time, and I love hearing suggestions. Otherwise, enjoy your day. Goodbye! All right, my friends. So let's switch back over to my big boy face so I can get this set up here. We are officially done with that for tonight. So let me close out those images. And we will set up our audition stream. We can also chat freely now. So if you all want to talk about anything or you want to... Oh, I'm going to have to set up an email one too, I just realized. Or if you want to make commentary, we can do that too. So let me set up my email because we're going to do some doc ones first. Okay, cool. Wow, Twitch acted really fast on that person who was mean in the chat. That's awesome. I got a little report that was like, we got your report. We're going to take action. I was like, cool. They don't tell you what they do, though. It was fun, 7. I love doing my voicing artist original characters, especially with people in the chat, just because I love people in the chat. But I like doing those episodes because it's a way for me to keep my acting qualities and my acting practice still going. Because when you're an actor, it is something you have to practice, just like a sport, just like any job. You have to consistently work on getting into the mindsets of characters, building up your ideas, and being able to do it when you're not asked so that you can do it when you are asked. Finally drawing that Husker Dust as dragons drawing I was talking about last Monday. Yay! Oh, 7, I'm so excited. You're combining two of like my favorite things, which is ships and dragons. Especially Husker Dust. We love some Husker Dust. Oh, that's going to be so cute. I can't wait to see that when you're done. No rush, but do send it to me because I absolutely want to see it. I love seeing everyone's artwork so much. There's so many artists that I follow. Even when I reach out to people and they're like, hey, I'm not really comfortable with my character being used, I'm always like, that's cool. I thought your art was cool. That's why I followed you. Like, I'm still going to follow everything you make because I love, love, love artists. I've never gotten to the level where I can, like, do it super well. I mean, we all like to create. We all like to draw. We all like to do things like that because it's helpful, I think, on the creative end of things. But... yeah, I love seeing different art styles and ideas and concepts. I love it very much. Might post a work in progress drawing on my Insta so I'm more motivated. Ooh, I love that. I'm a girly who, like, I will post a lot of things on my stories. So that way I don't have to feel like an attachment to like, oh, do I post this permanently? You know, I can just be on the story and I don't have to worry about it. You raised the possibility of a Shakespeare stream a while ago. Are you still considering that? That depends if anyone would join me. Theta, I know you would join me, and I'm so grateful for that. I don't know if anyone else would be interested in a Shakespeare stream. But what I'm thinking, here's what I'm thinking. I go to the convention this weekend. I won't be showing back up on Monday, but I should be on Wednesday. Yeah, Fox Daddy, Shakespeare stream? Question mark? Here's what I'm thinking is, what if I put out a poll in the Discord? That's like, or I'll probably put it on YouTube too, because I think YouTube has a community option to do a poll. So I'd put it on YouTube posts, like the community page, and then I'll put it in the Discord of like options for a Saturday stream. And one of them will be Shakespeare, one of them will be like games, one of them will be, you know, whatever it is. Because I think a Shakespeare stream would be fun to go through like classic plays and stuff. I also would be down to do a commentary stream. Like if we wanted to do, you know, if we wanted to make it Saturday, we all watch together, like, God forbid, the Avatar live action. I can commentate through it, right? I would love to commentate, or we could do shorter things where it's like, we watch indie animations and we talk about the voice acting, things like that. Commentary streams might be fun too. I don't know. I'm thinking of making a poll and see what people are up for. I would love to do a Shakespeare stream. I love Shakespeare so much. I love it very much. Don't remind me of the live action. I know, Seven. I haven't even seen it. I literally have been avoiding it because I've heard bits and pieces about what they did, and it's angered me to my core. So I cannot watch it. And also I want to record myself live. Not necessarily live stream, right? But at least get my first initial reaction. But I think I can only do like one episode at a time. Probably only like 5 minutes at a time before I break my TV. Oh my God. It will drive me crazy. I already know. The Romeo and Juliet movie with Leo DiCaprio. I don't think I've seen that one, but I know people love it. That might be one to watch. I'd be down for that. I think the only Shakespeare that I've seen as like a filmed version is the one with my man, Patrick Page, where he plays Macbeth. Otherwise, I've seen a lot in person, and a lot of stuff that's older in person. I think it's really well done in person. It's all usually well done. Not every director has a vision that I think executes well in Shakespeare. But that doesn't mean it doesn't execute. If that makes sense. Everything works. Shakespeare always works because that's the way it's written. So it doesn't matter what your plan is, what your idea is, how good your actors are. It will always work to someone who is a theater goer. It's just, sometimes I don't know that visions are super clear. I would love to put on a Shakespeare performance, like direct it, because I have a lot of concepts of like what I would want to try. For one, I would probably do like a fully, I mean, I do this with all my castings, but like I would do fully gender blind because I fucking hate gendered casting. It drives me crazy. I would do fully gender blind for one, and then we would decide based on who gets casted if we're changing genders or if we're not changing genders in the show. But I wouldn't want to do one of his main ones because I love Macbeth. I love Hamlet. Hamlet's probably one of my favorites. But I personally hate Romeo and Juliet. I've seen Romeo and Juliet put on. I've read it. I've listened to it. I hate it. It is just, every version of it is just annoying to me. But I also don't like romance. So, like, although it's not a romance, so it should be fun. I don't know. I would want to do like Richard III. Like, I want a Scar villain. I want this fucker coming out and fucking with people. That's what I want. I've seen the Julie Taymor Titus film and The Tempest with Dame Helen Mirren as Prospero. Interesting. I know Titus Andronicus is a popular one. And it's one of those ones where I've read it. I've seen it. I can never fully remember the plot. But I know it's a war play. And to some extent, if you were to tell me the plot, I'd be like, oh, I remember this. But you don't like romance because you've never met me. See, what's funny is, like, I like romance, but I like romance that isn't... This is hard to explain. There's a thing that's been happening in the modern era, but it's been happening for a while. That can kind of, like, drag me out is things are written almost always in a way that we don't speak. And sometimes that's awesome. Remember, huge DC nerd. I love Batman in the darkest film you've ever seen in your life. You could barely see his eyeballs saying the dumbest shit about how I'm not the one that Gotham needs, but I'm the one Gotham deserves. That's dumb, right? Nobody talks like that. Never in a million years. I love that shit because there's a time and a place. The problem is that kind of writing often gets pulled into every genre. And it's kind of like everywhere now, and it drives me crazy. I don't like dialogue like that when that's not the genre. If you're trying to give me a romance, and it's not a fantasy romance, it's not Lord of the Rings, it's meant to be real people, modern day people, you can't have dialogue that is like, oh, shut up! Don't you know I've liked you since day one? Nobody fucking says that shit. Nobody fucking says that shit. Nobody says that. No one says that. Like, it just drives me crazy. I don't think I've ever read Macbeth. I hate romance movies because of the dumb fantasy elements. Fox Daddy, we are on opposite sides of this spectrum. Give me the Lord of the Rings romance. Gives me the very stupid, like, she is the sacrifice to save the world. Like, give me that genre. We'll trade. Also, Macbeth is one of the best plays Shakespeare ever wrote. Hands down. There's a reason that Hamlet and Macbeth are considered the best. It's because they are. It just depends on your taste. Macbeth is a very, 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 very strong female-led character. And a bit of, like, war, tragedy, PTSD. Hamlet is fuckboy. Fuckboy becomes king and never learns his lesson. That's Hamlet. And he doesn't become king, but he never learns his lesson. So it's whether or not you want to watch American Psycho or, like, hard-hitting drama. And American Psycho will always win for me, so I like Hamlet. There kind of isn't a plot. It's a hyper-violent crowd pleaser. Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. 100%. Fantasy romance is the worst. Fox Daddy will have to trade because I'll take all your fantasy romance. Have you seen the Make Some Noise bit about McDonald's newest sandwich, the Macbeth? What? No. Why does McDonald's have a Macbeth sandwich? What the hell? People, I swear to God. I swear to Jesus. Also, let's get something straight. There's the whole thing about, like, the Scottish play where you're not supposed to say Macbeth when you're performing Macbeth because then you'll get, like, cursed. I recognize people have their superstitions. I also recognize that, when they did Macbeth back in Shakespeare's time, a lot of people were dying because they used real swords. Were there other deaths? Sure. But also, like, modded again. Like, breaking a leg. Yeah. Breaking a leg to get into the cast. Ha 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 ha. Hi, Seven. How's it going? Oh, guys, let me turn the music back on. Doesn't need to be loud, but we might as well have some now that the episode's over. There we go. It's probably good right there. That way it's not silence, because I hate silence. I wouldn't want to do that to y'all. The improv prompt was McDonald's newest sandwich, the Macbeth. Oh, it was improv. It's a killer sandwich. You know what's funny? Listen, I apologize to everyone. If you don't want to hear about Shakespeare, please feel free to mute me and go on to something else. But let's talk. You've got me talking now. I guess our Shakespeare stream is tonight. We don't need to make another one because it's tonight. I'll fucking pull up the script right now. Seems like a bit of a health code violation there, Buckaroo. I love that. So let's talk Macbeth. Let's talk Macbeth. So Macbeth is a little coward bitch. And that's one of the best parts about Macbeth, is he doesn't kill the king. He doesn't kill the king. He doesn't kill the first guy. The first one is handed to him. The second one, his wife does. The only person he kills, and if we're going to be arguable, he doesn't even kill them, is Banquo and Banquo's family. Again, assassins killed the family. So, like, there was a version of Macbeth set in a fast food restaurant, as I recall. Y'all, 7 Theta, this idea of Macbeth in a fast food restaurant is hilarious. Especially to choose, like, one of the only plays where nobody gets poisoned and put it in a food place? That's hilarious. I'm gonna have to watch this because that sounds funny as shit. Oh my god. I'm so down for this. That's a bit of a health code violation. You just find fingers in the food from Macbeth. Oh, I love this. I love this very much. But yes, so, and I don't even know if Macbeth himself kills Banquo. Hold on. Hold on, I'm looking it up. Macbeth doesn't kill Duncan. Wait, why is this saying Macbeth kills Duncan? Doesn't fucking Lady Macbeth kill him? Or does she go in there and cry and whine about it? Oh, she didn't actually kill him because she whines about him being his dad. Fuck off. That's my... Okay, so that's my least favorite part. Soylent Green is people. Oh my god, y'all. That's my least favorite part about fucking Macbeth. That's why Hamlet will always be more than Macbeth for me. It's because the historical Lady Macbeth's name was Grouch, if I recall. Damn, okay. I don't know the history behind it. I don't care enough about history to know the history behind things. On a separate note, just audibly yippied because my friend gifted me a thing I'd been wanting on Discord. Hell yeah! What'd you get? 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 I gotta know. Unless you're not comfortable sharing, in which case don't tell us. So Lady Macbeth goes in there, whines about it looking like her dad, and then kills herself. Fucking hate. Swear to God, Macbeth is annoying for that shit. And then Macbeth kills him. But does Macbeth kill Duncan, or does he, or not Duncan, does he kill Banquo? Or does he order people to kill Banquo? No, I'm correct. He doesn't fucking kill Banquo. He sends an assassin to kill him. Little lightning cosmetic thingy for my profile, which is just a literal speed bump sign. Oh my god, but Seven, that's so cute. Aww. Tell them that a streamer they don't know says thank you for you as well. I'm glad it made you smile and that it made your day, and I hope it continues to make your day. Because that's amazing. That friend is awesome. A Macbeth meal. Now you have to rewrite the story. Fox Daddy, this is the thing with Shakespeare, right? It's like, it's old enough that I would want to rewrite it. Because Macbeth, I think, personally, sorry, Willie Shakes, I think it would have been better if Lady Macbeth killed Duncan, if the assassins, which they do, kill Banquo and his family, and then the original guy dies. Because then, Macbeth never kills anyone. And you all of a sudden can play with this idea that Macbeth is a man in the seat of power that he did not work for, he did not ask for, he was not willing to take any of the blood on his hands, literally, in order to become king. He's just a little bitch sitting on the throne that his wife made for him, that war made for him, that fucking assassins made for him. That's one of the reasons I really like King Richard, is because King Richard is straight up like, nah, every bitch in here can die. Like, whereas I think it would be more powerful if Lady Macbeth killed King Duncan. And I hate that it doesn't happen, so we're rewriting it. How do we feel about a maiden, mother, crone version of the Weird Sisters? Maiden, mother, crone. I like it. I especially like it for our rewriting of Macbeth. Because once again, we're giving the women more power. I like this. So Game of Thrones. Yes, Fox Daddy, Game of Thrones. I think when you do Shakespeare, you can go one of two ways. You either do it how he intended, go for it. Or you fuck with it. And if you don't fuck with it, I just don't think it's worth it. Because I think the power of having something in public domain in this world of copyright, it's so... One of the best parts about being a creative is the ability to mesh and mold and fuck with things. Would you cast a disabled Richard? Absolutely. Absolutely, Theta. So here's the thing. I would not just cast a disabled Richard. I would open up to any disability. Because I think if you take away the idea that he is looked down upon on society, and you make him like a Scar where he is intelligent and he has nothing bad going for him, you lose the inherent morality of a person who has been spat on their entire life and doing all these bad things. He's essentially Quasimodo, but turned evil. And so you can't take away that moral. But I would open it up to any disability, because I think it would be really interesting to listen to a disabled actor's and a disabled person's concept of how they go through life, and literally just sit here and be like, I want you to tell me the things that have been said to you, the things that have been done to you, how difficult, what are the hardships you experience for your disability, not just in the regular world, but as an actor as well. And let's make that specifically incorporated into Richard III. So it's not just, oh, I get made fun of because I'm disabled. It's, this is my disability. Here's how society does not accommodate me, let alone brings me down. This is why this is my villain origin story. And that would be the kind of Richard III I would want to make. Back from telling my friend you're thankful, and her response was, you're welcome? Gotta treat my Pookies right. Yes! Oh, Speed Bump, I'm so glad. You get to be a Pookie. Are you a Pookie or a Pookie Bear? I think Pookie Bear is the old term, right? So you're a Pookie. Oh, I love that for you, Seven. Make it challenging by giving him Down syndrome. We don't get any characters like that. I would love if a person who had Down syndrome was interested in playing Richard III. I think that would be amazing. Genuinely. Because I've seen the TikTok video, the ad that went viral on TikTok of the woman with Down syndrome who's doing the like, you assume I can't do Shakespeare, so I don't. You assume I can't drink, so I don't. You assume I can't swear. Well, I can fucking swear, right? Like, That video is incredible. That ad campaign is fabulous. I would love to get to put on a production of Richard III and direct a piece where we have a disabled actor, we have a person with Down syndrome playing Richard III who can explain and incorporate what society has not done for them and what things occur or discrimination happens to them, and put that into Richard III. I think that'd be awesome. I love it. I know, Theta, right? It's a cool idea. I forgot about that video. Yeah, it's one of the only ads that genuinely caught my attention. I sat through and I watched it and I was like, thank you. Because I've seen a couple of things and I'm not someone who has a lot of experience with, I don't know if Down syndrome classifies as this, so don't think that I'm talking about that specifically. But I'm not someone who has a lot of experience with intellectual or physical disabilities, or somewhat mental disabilities, but also somewhat not, being in my immediate vicinity. We had folks who maybe were on the autism spectrum, or, you know, before it was a spectrum, or things like that were maybe in school, but I've never had anyone in my family or in my friends or in my school, right, who was sort of a part of that. I have worked for a family who had 2 autistic sons, and they were close enough that I learned quite a bit, and I loved learning about the different types. Well, types is a general word, right? It's a spectrum, but different styles of like how it presents, what each child was better at or wanted versus the other. One was very physical and touch-based. The other was entirely words and didn't want you to touch him. And so learning that was really, really nice. I don't know what other word to say besides nice, because I like learning these things. And I watched like Love on the Spectrum and stuff, and I know people didn't feel represented by it. And I'm always curious about things like this, because there's so many questions of like, I want to make sure that I'm supporting and representing people correctly, but also I don't know where to ask these questions, right? Like when I was watching Love on the Spectrum, one of my big questions was like, how do you look for someone? Because there were some people who were specifically looking for other people on the spectrum, and there's some people who are specifically looking for people who aren't on the spectrum. And I'm like, what makes you lean towards one or the other? Is it like, I don't know, is it because someone can relate to your experience, but then why do some people want to go for someone who doesn't relate to their experience? And someone said a very nice line where they said, all I want is someone who's on the same like intellectual and emotional level as I am. And I was like, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, especially if autism and all these other things hit different people differently. It makes sense to be like, there are levels of where each person is at, and it just kind of varies. I'm like, oh, okay. What anime are you talking about, Dark Mega? I only know one friend who has an autistic child. I'm sure I could find a professional you could interview about this. Aw, Fox Daddy, I love that. I don't know if I would be a good interviewer, because I feel like I talk a lot, and I vocalize my own ideologies and opinions on things. I don't know if that's the best for interviewing, but I am curious. Like, I do watch some interviews, and I do just like having genuine words, Rachel. I like having general and genuine conversations about this kind of thing with folks who are willing to share and open to share. It's one of the reasons that I'm an open book about everything. You know, like, I just think that you shouldn't shame someone and you shouldn't harm someone for trying to learn. And so I'm very open about everything that deals with myself. Like, I will have random people, especially the older generation, because I make friends with a lot of people in the older generation. I don't know why, it's just something that I do. I'm not a minor. It's okay. I'm allowed to make friends with them. And a lot of, you know, like 50s, 60s, etc., once we become friends, we'll be like, can you explain to me like asexuality or genderqueer or fluid or what. I don't get it, and I'm confused, and I have questions, but I feel like if I ask my questions, they might be mean because I don't know how to say it properly. And I'm always like, you can say whatever you want to me. I will never assume that you are offending me. I will always give you the benefit of the doubt, even if you accidentally use a word you shouldn't use, even if you don't have another way of saying things. What I'll do is I'll say, okay, so yes, you're right. You probably shouldn't say that to anyone else, but here's the answer. I'm all about that kind of shit. Interviewing people is easier than people think. If you ever watch my YouTube videos, I don't ask questions. I don't just ask questions. We talk to one another. Okay, so you do have more of like a conversation thing. But I'm sure I'll see you when I interview you in the future. Yes, you will, Fox Daddy. I've been learning about being ace. There's so many things to it. There's so many things to everything, right? Like, it's everything and anything, and everything is fluid, and everything is moving, and there's no... I will say if there's one thing I really love about the modern generation, it's that there are no... You don't have to have an answer. It's okay to just be queer. You don't have to pick one. That's my favorite thing, because the only term I identify with is ace. I don't do romantic identification. I don't do gender identification. It's just queer. So it's very, very nice to be able to be like, you don't have to pick one. That's a very nice thing of this generation. My mom one time asked me that type of question. Yeah, Seven, exactly, right? Yeah, how did it go, Seven? We hope well. Hopefully everything went well for you in that conversation. But yeah, Seven, 100%, right? It's like, sometimes you don't have to be. And not everyone, right? Like, it's not on a minority in wherever to explain something to you. That's not their job. But it can be a lovely, lovely moment if you are that type of person, which I am for a lot of queer things, and anything I can speak on, I will. I am always comfortable speaking on things that personally I can speak on. And so I'm okay being that person for the group of tens of thousands of people behind me who don't want that job. And so it's nice sometimes to be in that job when that's just the type of person you are. Sometimes you're like, okay. She was a bit confused, but she had the spirit. Oh, good! I'm glad. Most of my relatives are the same way when they're that age. They're very much like, cool. They either, like, don't care, which honestly is 100% fine by me. I'm totally chill if someone's just like, I don't give a fuck who you're sexually attracted to. That's weird. I don't want to know. Just bring your partner to Christmas. Like, which is totally fine, right? Like, especially immediate family, unless it's my sister who I make fun of her because she gets all of it. She doesn't get a choice. But I'm totally fine if a family member is like, I don't really need to know who you want to fuck and who you don't want to fuck. I don't need to know. All I need to know is you're not being abused. And I'm like, okay, cool. And that's okay. You know, people have a right to be that way. That's fine. So I'm down for that. My mom just accepted things when it came to me. Yeah, exactly, Fox Daddy, right? Like, with family. Yeah. It's one of those... W family. Absolutely, absolutely. It's one of those things where I am very comfortable in my own skin and my own body. Thankfully, not everyone is able to be that way. That it doesn't particularly matter to me who does and doesn't like the way that I function. No one really got a choice. Because I've told family, I'm like, you know, if I were to ever bring a partner back, which I probably won't because I don't picture myself getting in a relationship for like 20-something years, if not more. It's just not my jam. I'm too selfish for that shit. But if I were to ever like bring a partner back and they were to ever tell me that, hey, it was great except for such and such, I quite literally would not come back. Like, and I straight up tell that to people. I'm like, no. You don't have priority just because you're family. Now, granted, if my partner was a little bitch and was harping over something that was nonsense, then I'd go off of them, right? It's whoever is not in the right, but you gotta be actually like, oh, they insulted you, not just you took something wrong. There is a through line. You have no crushes? No, not really. I mean, I'm the same. Is Ninja Kamui the anime Dark Mega? Okay, I'll add that one to the list. Ooh, is it like insane like action, or is it insane like rated mature type of thing? No, I don't really do crushes. I do have like, I kind of have a type. So I'm mostly like masculine folks. I'm open to everyone and everyone, because again, I don't define that kind of jazz. Only thing I go by is ace. But I genuinely like someone who gives off the energy like they could fuck me up. And obviously I don't mean that sexually. I mean that like, you know, they're big, they're beefy, they got muscles, like, they're tall, right? Like, I like somebody who looks like they could pick me up and kidnap me if they wanted to. Don't do that. It's not an invitation. But that's my energy. That's my vibe. If you give me that vibe, I'm like, hello. I like your energy. I keep forgetting to watch that. It looks amazing. Ooh, okay. We got extra recommendations for that anime. Awesome. I don't either. Totally. Fictional characters. Yeah, literally me. Literally me. Fictional characters all day, every day. Oh, it's violent. Okay, Dark Mega. I'm down. Hell yeah. Welp, I'm out. Yeah, so sorry, Fox Daddy. Sorry, you're on. Persephone Core? Ah! Oh no, you're right, aren't you? That's very Persephone coded, huh? Oh, fuck. You might have just called me out. People do say that, like, if I was, like, for non-anime people, for, like, my regular, normal person homies, if I say pick a character that represents me, 100 out of 100 times, the answer is Megara from Hercules. 100 out of 100 times. And she is essentially just Persephone, but, you know, not. But she's still enslaved by Hades, does what he wants, right? She just doesn't have the whole aspect of comes whenever, does whatever type of thing. But she's essentially the personification of her. So yeah, that makes sense. I'm pretty Persephone cord, yeah. That's, you're correct. You are indeed correct. Yeah, I like a bitch who can fuck me up. Because here's the thing. I am very social. I'm very vocal. And, y'all are clearly know, I'm an entertainer. I like to be loud. I like to be engaging. I like to not stop, right? So, I cannot have a partner whose personality is any less than mine. They have to either match me at my intensity or go further. Because if you're under my intensity, if you're the type of person who's like, oh, sure, we can do this event, but I'm gonna sit in the corner and I'm gonna, you know, be quiet while everybody else plays games and laugh, it will drive me crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm like, excuse you? You don't get to sit in the corner. No. So, like, I love people. I genuinely do. But one of the many reasons that I don't think I will ever be in a relationship in many years is because of you tend to find people who are in your categories. So I'm a nerd, right? I like D&D, I like anime, all that shit. And, oh my god. Where did the other one go inside my brain? Oh, I'm queer. Nerd, queer. Queer people, often very, like, anxious, neurodivergent, aren't really party people, unless they're lesbians, which queens. But they're kind of in that, like, nervous anxiety, not very good socially. So even if they don't have anxiety, they're on the they might be on the opposite end of the social spectrum where they still don't understand other people or social cues or things like that. I consider myself very good socially. And then nerds, also not very good socially, usually, and anxious and things like that. Neither of these communities are good socially, and 9 times out of 10, neither of these communities have, like, I can fuck you up energy. You know what I'm saying? So the 2 communities I'm a part of do not have, usually, again, the ability to combine super, super good social skills with goes to the gym, looks like he could crack a watermelon between his arms. Those don't usually combine in the queer and nerd community, and so I'm kind of out of luck trying to find that combination. I love this take on Meg. Yeah, that's kind of what Meg is, you know? Is like, people will be like, oh, you're Megara, and I'm like, oh, she's great, she's sweet. She's not my first choice, but she's great. Almost done with the Husker Dusk art. Just need to finish Angel's eyes and then color in stuff and background. Oh my god, 7. Yay, I'm so excited. Rachel wants to date a nuke. Hey. Listen, I'm sorry. If you can't fuck me up, like, we got problems. Like, we need to go to cons together. I've seen plenty of nerds that fit your description. Are you sure, though? Because LMAO is correct. Yes. Because I don't know that... I don't know. Rachel Oppenheimer. Listen. I just want a beefy man, okay? But a beefy man who's a nerd and socially good. Which is like it's so hard to find, is like, dude who could, I can't say who could lift me because I'm 100 pounds, a 5-year-old can lift me. So that doesn't work, right? I need dude who is like, I am, you know, like, I look like Geralt from The Witcher, but also I'm into D&D and anime, and playing board games because board games aren't my shit. A lot of anime, D&D people don't play fucking board games. Board games are a necessity. Sorry, necessity. But, like, I need someone who looks like Geralt, is a nerd like everyone else, and then is also really, really good at social things. It just doesn't happen. I'm sorry. Fun fact, in a sense, Persephone was the first Disney princess. The test for animating a fluidly moving woman was a version of the abduction of Persephone. Whoa. Cool. Wait, that's dope as fuck, Theta. I love that. Rachel, my friend, I have hung out with dudes that are buffed and outgoing. I love Iffy. Wait, Theta, I love Iffy. Oh no. I haven't met him, but he is like, he's one of the people in like the you know, social media, YouTube community shits that I fucking adore. I love that man. Isn't he taking over, for Game Changers? Cause he's fucking quality. I love him. Just realized you described one of my OCs. 7, no. 7, you gotta stop creating fictional characters like that. You're gonna have me simping, okay? You gotta stop, like. Oh my god, bro. Bro, what? Well, it's funny too because, like, there aren't a lot of fictional characters where I'm like, oh, that's what I want, like, attraction-wise, right? Actually, he's taking over, actually. That was the greatest way to say that, Theta. Thank you. Rachel already sounds like a giddy schoolgirl. I am, okay? Listen. I literally just hit the mic. Listen. Okay, listen. It's not fair that they only come in fictional form. Honestly, if we're gonna be honest, they don't come in fictional form usually, because when you're in, like, anime and cartoons, there aren't characters that are pictured as nerds. Think about it for a second. Very rarely, if you are an animated or drawn character, are you ever a nerd. They don't really talk about cartoons and comics and media. You're only a nerd in the sense of science, right? You would have to go to something like Spider-Man, where he like has other posters of other superheroes on his wall. But other than that, you're not usually a nerd in media. So there aren't a lot of characters that fit that part of the description. There are a lot of beefy boys, though. I guess I gotta draw that OC sometimes and tag you. Yes. Yes. You know what? Maybe don't tag me. I know I'm streaming on my professional account, but I probably shouldn't be saying this. Maybe just send it to my DMs. Maybe don't tag me. I try to keep Instagram very professional. Maybe don't. Maybe just DM me instead. Send it to Discord DMs. How about that? Elon Musk will create an AI robot for you. Sam Winchester. Actually, yeah. And Sam's hair. I love a long-haired bitch. Not like to the floor, but like right where he has it in like the, what's his name? In the Sean from Boy Meets World style. Love that on men. That's why I have an alt account for things. Yeah, so I have a personal Instagram. I just don't give it to people I don't know. But DMs on Discord, you can do that. DMs on Discord, you can send me what you want to send me. Oh, I love that shit. Oh my god. Yeah, eventually we'll have AI robots. They do have, like, digital ones. They have digital, like, AI robots. But obviously you can't do physical things with them. But I would not want to do physical things with them anyway. So maybe it is already out there. And I just gotta look. You know, like the robot boyfriends and stuff. Curiously, I think SPN's Meg is your vibe as well. She is. She kind of is. It's one of those things where, like, my actual Rachel vibe, like, that you guys see and that people see when they meet me in person, is those characters. 100%. The thing is, though, my favorite characters, not like all beefy men, not like all the characters I am, my favorite characters are your like fancy flamboyance, not quite the right word, but like egotistical artistic villains. I'm gonna say the worst example, Hisoka. Or if we want to go Zelda, Girahim. Those are my favorite characters. Always. Always, 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 always. Because I want to be that bitch. I love, because you can't do it in real life, but I love playing the characters that are just like, oh, cute, right? And they have this pet, like, oh, love it. They have a power, they have control. I love it. What's your user? Might not friend you since I'm sort of the same way with how you do your personal okay, got it. But I can for sure DM you. Do you want it on Discord? You're saying your Discord is personal to you, right? So you don't want to friend me? That's totally fine. My Discord, let me give you, what I'll do instead, Seven, is I'll give you my server, the Discord server that we're in. And then, you should be able to find me because I should just have my name on that, so. I'll give you the link here. Copy. Modded again. You know what's so funny, Fox Daddy? Let me explain something to you because you were not here. When Theta and I had just started up the stream, there was someone who came in here and was saying, like, you look ugly, you look stupid. Horrible insults, by the way. They need to up their game. We talked about this. But, like, insulting. And I banned them, right? It is crazy to me that a mod bot on literally the strictest setting, because again, Fox Daddy, the Twitch bot is on the strictest setting I have, is modding you, but wouldn't mod you're ugly, you're stupid, you're dumb, like, you should leave. I've never found any success in moderation. Like, literally, mod bots are the dumbest things on the planet. Literally, I have a thing that says AutoMod can detect unwanted messages based on your channel's moderation pattern. Really? Because it didn't seem to work. Didn't seem to work, did it? Didn't seem to work. Oh. Yeah, okay, I can see it. I'm allowing both of these, Fox Daddy. I got you. Yeah, you can have twinks. You're allowed to say twinks and fuckboy. 7, I am putting the link to the Discord server in the stream now. So if you go there, you'll see me. I think in my Discord server it says my name on the right-hand corner of members. Yeah, my bot doesn't like queer messages, and yet it lets through, like, ugly and shit. Yeah, Dark Mega, what's your questions? Absolutely fucking wild. That shit's wild. My god. This is how it is. Modbot is against queers. I swear to Jesus. Well, now I know how to actually see them, at least on Twitch. I don't know how to see any on YouTube, so hopefully we don't get any bad boy. In fact, Rachel said fuckboy earlier in this stream. Yoink. Exactly. Exactly my point. Like, this is fucking crazy, bro. Like, how is wait, why is discrimination on, like, medium? This is so fucking dumb. I'm gonna leave it where it's at, but, like, that's sex-based terms. No, bitch. Don't filter my sex. I have no filtering on swearing, so it should not have censored you for fuckboy. But again, I think it's just being stupid. That's okay. Now that I know how to let them through on Twitch, I, again, don't know about YouTube. I don't even know if YouTube has one. But now that I know how to pull up the comments on Twitch's end, theoretically, I should be able to let through the things that it mods you for, and then it's supposed to learn when I let through comments and when I don't let through comments. The modbot is supposed to learn what is allowed and not allowed. So thank God I let through your twink comment, because now hopefully it'll stop being queerphobic and it will actually let through twinks and fuckboys. Modbot said it's not February, so these talks are a no-no. No, I'll tell you what Modbot said. Modbot said, excuse you, it's not Pride Month yet. You can't use this, this gay language when it's not Pride Month. That's what it said. That's what it said. Oh my god, bro, that's funny as shit. Oh, lordy, lord, 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 lord. Oh, now Discord's sending me all sorts of notifications. 7, I don't know if you're still listening, but you can DM it to me, or you're welcome to put it in, like, general chat if that's comfortable for you, but you don't have to. Just let them in, they're cold. Imagine if the bot could detect when I say things. Fox Daddy, there wouldn't be a stream. So, no, let me tell you something hilarious. Okay. I was Googling earlier today, can you take medicine on stream? Because my period started today, and so I took some pills, but I didn't take them in the window where I would be able to take them right before I started streaming. If I needed to take them again, it would have to be, like now the time is up to where it's been like 5 hours, I could take them again. And I literally was Googling, will I get banned? Will AutoMod know if I'm taking drugs live on stream? Like, because I was like, am I allowed to take these? Or are they gonna try and, like, flag me for, like, reckless endorsement of fucking ibuprofen? Like, thank God the internet apparently says you're allowed as long as it's not, you know, like, illegal drugs. I was like, thank Jesus Christ. Oh my God. because I was like, God forbid, I can't. This is how we lose the channel. Literally is how we would lose the channel. I swear I will do something stupid. I will say, at least we're not popular enough to where it automatically detects that I'm playing copyrighted content. YouTube does, but YouTube's built for it. Twitch let that one stream slide where I was watching all those, like, songs. Twitch let it go. Did not notice. And I was like, yes. Back from stealing my roomie's sushi since they're full. Hell yeah, get some sushi, Seven. Hell yeah. I support you. Oh my god. No, get that sushi though. Especially if they're full. You might as well. I'm sorry, I can't get over this. I literally just looked over and the mod action, not joking, the mod action Fox Daddy says, Twinks, permitted term by Rachel Schumacher. Yes, Twitch. They can say the word twink. It's okay. Oh my god. Go. Do crimes. Yes, Seven. Do crimes. Do them. Steal the sushi. As I understand it, you can make a redeemable reward to encourage you to take care of your health. Yes. I've seen people have, like, spend channel points and then you can use them for, like, a drink water break. That kind of thing. But to me, that's, like, so boring. No shit hate to anyone. Oh my god, it just blocked Theta for saying it. Allow that shit, motherfucker. Jesus Lord. Rachel is pro twink added to the permitted list. I fucking love my life. I love every single one of you. More blocks. I love how it hates the word twink, but it's fine when people hop in my chat and call me ugly. I fucking love mod bots so much. Oh my god. Bots had to ask Mama Rachel for permission. It's true, they do. I don't want to be Mama Rachel though. That is one thing, I know it's endearing and I appreciate that comment and that comment's hilarious. But if there's one thing, does pro twink register as a different word? No, it's still registering as twink. So I don't know why it won't. It says twink added to the permitted list. Ma pa, Rachel? I don't know. Maybe I'll have to go in there and be like, what words do you allow? And I'll put the literal word twink because this is being dumb. No. It's not a gendered thing. It's more that, like, I've never been the mother of the group. I am not a mother personality. I have no interest in taking care of bitches. So I don't want to be the Mama Rachel. I'd rather be like, I don't know, lots of things, right? Like, let's American Psycho me, whatever that is. Let's, Killer Rachel's probably a bad term. Maybe not that. But, like, even fuckboy Rachel is hilarious for someone who doesn't fuck. Or is also not a boy. Like, I think the concern is that twink is a slur in some contexts. I think it's a concern that Twitch thinks twink is a slur. I think you can add exception words. I probably can. It says you can edit this channel's auto mod settings, but then it takes me to auto mod. And auto mod's not very good at its job. So, and there's nothing here that says, like, put in specific words. It says rule sets, and it says blocked terms and phrases. Oh, permitted terms. Okay. Oh. Okay. I think I found it. For some, queer is too. I find that odd. So, I knew that this was a thing. I knew that you could add specific words it was allowed because I went and added queer and gay to my allowed word list because you're correct, Fox Daddy. There are some people who consider queer a slur, and that's totally fine. If someone doesn't want to be referred to as queer themselves, they don't have to be. That said, I will be referred to as queer, and people are allowed to say it in my chat because it's not a slur. Arknights Reimei Zensu. Please see this anime. It's amazing animation. And when I see this anime, I like drinking wine, but I don't drink wine. Dark Mega, that's hilarious. I've heard of Arknights. Is Arknights a mecha, though? Like, is it they put on big robot costumes? Because I have two genres that I very strongly dislike, and unfortunately, mecha is one of them. So I don't know if that is one of those animes or not, like where they put on the big sort of like robot costumes or armor and they fight people in those. Hate that genre. It's not my thing. It just isn't. And I won't like shows that are in it, but I appreciate the recommendation. Also, I found the term thing. I'm going to add twink. So what's happening is when I'm saying yes to the, yeah. Well, but now it says it's saved and it doesn't look like it did. What the fuck? So it's only allowing me to save words to my allowed list for an hour. And it won't let me put in the word twink because I already did it like casually. Damn, this is crazy. I'll Google it, but if it's a mecha, I will not watch it. Because again, not my jam. Let's see. Arknights. Arknights Reimei Zensu. I can't tell. Is it a mecha? Doo-doo-doo. It doesn't say. Anime FLV. Okay, let's see. Okay, details. Art. Slurred very found price. Let's see. It doesn't say so. So it says action fantasy. So I'll add it to the list then. Okay. I can add that to the list. No worries, Dark Mega. I looked it up. I'll add it to the list. Big O is a pretty cool mech show. It could be something interesting. It does have more than mechs. I appreciate that, Fox Daddy. I just make no promises that I will ever sit down to watch a mech show. Because... Hi, Big Ben. How are you tonight? I am doing well. We are talking about chatting words. We're talking about animes. We're talking about art. If you have anything you want to talk about, let us know. And I'm glad to see you. Hello. Yeah, I'm not a mecha person. I've been recommended even like the one with the Loosh because apparently he's very dramatic. I just can't do it. Anti-mecha, I'm telling all the animation studios. Literally, I'm like, don't tell them. Don't tell them. I'll never get to voice anything. Don't tell them. But even like, you know, the Hot Pocket one, the classic that everybody wants you to watch and everybody loves, Evangelion. I cannot sit through it. Literally can't sit through it because there's mecha. There's so much other stuff that would intrigue me, like psychological horror and that kind of jazz is in there. And I love that. Can't do it. The second they put on their little suits, I'm like, I don't care anymore. I just hate it. Anything that is like Transformers, none of it. I cannot do robots. And that Code Geass. Yeah, Code Geass has great characters I like. I can't do it. I can't. Gundam, can't. I'm not gonna look at it on stream, Dark Mega, but I can add it to the list for stuff off stream. But I don't usually watch things on stream. That was a, like, fun day that we were having. I don't usually watch things or listen to things on stream. No Power Rangers. Rachel is robophobic. Literally. No Power Rangers. No Transformers. No Code Geass. No Gundam. The only part that I ever saw of, like, Gundam that I actually sat down and was like, oh, maybe I'll watch this show, and then they got into mech suits, was the part where, like, one of the brothers dies, and I was like, that's a really good emotional moment, and then they got into suits. I was like, damn. Making my little FNAF lover heart bleed. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't really fuck with FNAF all that much. FNAF's a little different, but not by much. I did love the FNAF movie, though. We've spoken about it on this channel before. I love children's horror, and I think it needs to be made more of a genre. And I would love to create children's horror. Like, I would love to take that part of the market and help create horror for kids. So I did like the FNAF movie, and I like what FNAF's trying to do. It's just not my thing. This is why Rachel will never find her buff, nerdy boy toy. It's true, because they're all into Gundam. No, so that is my most hated, cannot do it. I will not watch anything with, like, Transformer style robots or anything like that. I cannot do it. It just drives me crazy. That's my number one. It ties into, though, very thematically, which of my number two least favorite genre, which you are welcome to guess. It's probably the only easy thing, hiccups, that will ever be guessed, because it's essentially there. But I'll also tell you if you want. I remember reading that manga version of Code Geass minimizes or removes the mecha element. Oh, okay. Well, that's good at least. Maybe I can read it. What about Sailor Moon and transformation animes? Transformations are fine, because it's still a person. Even if they transform into, like, a creature, fine. Like Jake Long style, where they're a dragon, fine. I just don't fuck with robots and, like, gear and that kind of weapons. It's not my shit. Has to be, like, living creature. Monsters? Cool. Can't do the robot thing. Not my jam. Sobbing in my room with my 20 plus plushies and 20 plus action figures of FNAF? I'm not obsessed, I swear. 7, I'm so sorry, but also I think you just straight up outed yourself. Oh my god. You are fabulous, 7. I will have to get you, like, a new plushie, if that's possible. You might have every single one. I'll have to get it to you as, like, what are they called? Not compensation, not compilation. Oh my god. Oh my god. Brain. What is it called? When you get something as, like, consolation. Consolation. I'll have to get you a consolation prize for this happening. Rachel is afraid of our future robot overlords. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Because, hold on. We gotta talk here. Dante Bosco again, literally. Rachel, I love your videos. Stay awesome. Thank you, Big Ben. I appreciate that. And you are awesome. So you stay awesome too, okay? Consolation. Yes, thank you. I'm not looking at my FNAF tapestry above my bed. I swear I ain't going back. 7. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. You're welcome here, 7. Please don't leave. It's okay. We can pretend this didn't happen. Here's the thing. I want to track back for a second. The reason why I try not to say I know I said I don't fuck with robots. The reason why I specify Transformers, Evangelion, mecha, the reason why I use the word mecha instead of robots is because I don't mind androids. I don't mind robots. To me, those are characters. They're the same thing as a monster, as a furry, as whatever, right? That's a character. I actually really like robot characters. I like android characters. I don't like the mecha where they get in the suit and they fight like kaijus. That's what I don't like specifically. Just doesn't entertain me. I immediately turn off my brain. Can't do it. Even like Godzilla style, probably would do it up until he fights something, because it's a creature, right? I just don't like the mecha thing. I'm most likely staying here like syrup. Yes! Good! We've kept you in our grasp, Seven. So that's why FNAF is better for me. I like aspects of FNAF because they're characters. Yeah, lore spoiler for folks don't know, there was and or is like person inside controlling animatronic, but they're also kind of their own character versus put on suit. You know what I mean? Because like I Am Robot. I love that dude from I Am Robot. I think that movie's great. I like the androids from Dragon Ball Z. Think they're great characters. One of my favorite characters of all time is a literal puppet, like a puppet robot. Love her to death. She's her own character, though. You don't go inside her and control her, even though she's a puppet. Weird wording, but still. So I like when they are characters themselves. I don't like when they're suits that you put on. And Transformers is like, towing that line a little bit. I'd put them more into suits. I know they're characters. Put them more into suits. But that's why I don't like mecha specifically. And then, second least favorite genre, gonna be obvious here. Second least favorite genre, science fiction. Wild. I know. Crazy leap from mecha. I don't like science fiction. It's just... boring. I hesitate to say boring, because I don't think it's blinking. Is it gonna do that wherever I turn it? It is. It must digitally be blinking. I hope it's not blinking on stream for you guys, because that would drive me crazy as a viewer. Rachel has lost all the anime love. I know. Because people will go, oh, Evangelion. I'm like, yeah, I don't like mecha. That's like my least favorite genre. And they'll be like, oh, well, okay. Well, I'm sure like Steins Gate. And I'm like, or they'll go Cowboy Bebop. And I'm like, I don't like sci-fi. So you don't like Ghost in the Shell? Nope. That's another one they'll mention. From all of the classics that they're convinced you must have loved when you watch them, almost all of those classics are sci-fi. I don't like a single one. It's just so... I hate to say this. Okay. Have you ever been told by someone who doesn't like fantasy or doesn't get fantasy that fantasy feels very full of itself and maybe a little overly dramatic? To me, sci-fi feels very full of itself. Like, with the quantum teleport, oh, we can blah 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 and get in the blah blah blah. I'm just like... And that especially goes into, like, alien territory. Ugh. Hate that shit. I must go. Enjoy the rest of your 24 hours and below, everyone. Goodbye, Seven. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for chatting. You are genuinely a huge pleasure to have on stream. And I absolutely adore when you are here chatting with us. We won't be here Wednesday, but feel free to join us next Monday, okay? Or next 2 Wednesdays from now, because we won't have a Wednesday or a Monday since I'm at a convention. But you're amazing. Have a good night. Goodbye, Seven. Rachel, don't you dare say you don't like Bebop or Outlaw Star. Ooh, already did. I do not like Cowboy Bebop. We just talked about the heightened diction of fantasy. Yeah. Sci-fi and fantasy are two faces of the same coin. Until we meet again. Goodbye. They are. They absolutely are. Sci-fi and fantasy are, two exactly, like, heads of the coin. And unfortunately, when it comes to a coin, I'm only on tails. I don't do the heads. There's something about the transition from medieval, full of itself, heightened language, dramatics, and when you take the old-timey aspect of it and you put the focus to technology, I don't like it. And this comes from somebody who there are aspects of traditional science fiction that I do like. For example, I'm one of those bitches that you will never meet in your life again who likes time travel, who likes multiple dimensions and universes. I like it when shows fuck with that shit. I love the DC Flashpoint. I like Marvel going through all the different dimensions and bringing in weird characters. I don't think they always do it well. And sometimes I get very frustrated when they don't do it well and I yell at them, like the Loki TV show did it shittily. But I like when they use it. So I like time travel. I like multiple dimensions. But sci-fi I just don't like. And also, this is coming from a Star Trek girly. I'm not a true Star Trek girly, obviously. But I was the Next Generation series. So I like Data, I like Captain Picard, I like these characters. But Star Trek was a lot less about technology and science. And it kind of had the fantasy aspects of we go to a new world every episode and meet new people and meet new fantastical creatures. So it was kind of like fantasy but in the future, which sci-fi is not, and I will argue that forever. Runes and staves and royal courts. That's right, baby. Time travel too. Here I thought you were a person of culture. That was your first mistake. Never think that I'm a person of culture. That is where you will be wrong. I am not a person of culture ever. Ever. You guys will never get to see it because I film things in this booth, but I have a full wall covered in one of the most incel ideologies and topics and someone they look up to. And I say it every time. The Joker. I have an entire wall covered in the incel spokesperson, which is the Joker, because I love that bitch. And I know that he's used as incel bait, but I fucking love him, because I'm not a person of culture. I like the way Loki did multi-dimensions. It was fine. I don't think it was bad. I know I called it garbage. But for me, that's a relative term for when I'm angry and I didn't like something. I did not like it, and therefore I call it garbage. I don't think it's bad. It's just not how I like my time travel and to be done, and dimensions to be done. I like them very specific on their rules and their complications, and I think Loki was a little wishy-washy. But I would say that about Umbrella Academy. I would say that about most things that use time travel or use multiple dimensions. They're all a little wishy-washy. Just kind of how it goes. I love this because one of the staff of 90s Trek said it was a period piece for the future. Exactly! Star Trek is not sci-fi, and I will fight a bitch. At least Next Generation, the version I watched, not sci-fi, and that's why I fucking liked it. Also the Gate one. The Gate one was not sci-fi. I don't know what that is. I watched some of that too, and I liked that. The Gate one was not sci-fi. Which Joker watched? She says Leto. Stargate. Yes, thank you. So... I'm not gonna say Leto. However, I do like Leto's interpretation of the Joker, but, not for the reasons people think, and not in his movie, and not for what they were trying to do, etc., etc. I think if you take it out of context, there's reasoning behind it. He's not my favorite, though. I'm a Heath Ledger baby through and through. You're already on thin ice, young person. No. I'm a Heath Ledger baby. That was my era of Batman. I was too young because it was 2012 or something, or like 2007 or some shit. He did have great bone structure. I love Heath Ledger's performance. I love very human performances, and that's what Heath Ledger had. He was human pushed to dramatics, and so his performance will always be my favorite. Mark Hamill is excellent. Jack Nicholson, I adore. I love him in A Few Good Men. I love him as the Joker. I adore Jack Nicholson's. If I'm being 100% honest, I love every iteration and interpretation of the Joker. Every single one. Even the ones people don't remember. One of my favorite interpretations is the official, unofficial Jokers, which are the twin brothers in Gotham, the TV show. Jerome and... I want to say Jedediah, but that's not his name. Jerome and whatever his twin was. I like both of them. Jerome is one of my favorites. I've cosplayed as Jerome's Joker. People thought I was a Titan. That's okay. They all bring something different to the character. Not just that. So you're 100% correct. Yes, they all bring something different to the character. They're all playing a different Joker. That's the reason that I like DC and I prefer DC over things like Marvel, is because every single Jeremiah, thank you, Theta. And also, Theta, you've seen that? I swear to God, Theta, you better never leave my streams, because the amount of times I reference something and you're like, ah, yes. You're not ever allowed to leave. You better be here for every single one. Fox Daddy, you too, because you fucking chat, and I love you both very much. But so, one of the reasons I love DC is because, or I should say Batman in particular. No, pop culture osmosis. Okay, fair enough. Batman in particular, because that's sort of the genre that I fall in, but DC in general as well. Every single time they create a new piece, TV show, movie, another movie, animated series, whatever it is always its own new telling of the story. It's its own universe. And so every single iteration of the Joker is good because every single iteration is a different Joker. They're all their own dimension. Cesar Romero was pretty cool. Absolutely. They're all good. That's the thing. Because Jack Nicholson's Joker was meant to be the funny mob boss. He was. Heath Ledger's Joker was meant to be the genuinely mentally insane. He was. Jared Leto's we'll talk about in a second. Mark Hamill's is meant to be the animated comedic comic version. He was. Right? Like, all of them, and this goes for all the Batmans, this goes for all the Harley Quinns, this goes for mostly every single character that gets a new iteration. They are always good in their own right, except for a few here or there. And usually the few here or there are because the fucking people who have control over the project decide that that character's either going to be a pedophile or get pedophiled. And that's the only reason that the characters then suck. I'm looking directly at you, people responsible for Deathstroke. Go fuck yourselves. Write it out of the narrative. If you ever produce a narrative where that is a part of his character, die. Sorry. That also goes for shipping Barbara Gordon with fucking Batman. That also goes for literally making Ivy a child in Gotham to get fawned over by adults. Sorry. Said what I said. Joker's a great character because his origins are made to be ambiguous, so you can do anything with him. Absolutely, right? But again, it goes for every character. Every single one, character-wise, performance-wise, are great. It's just people making those specific choices that irritates me. I just saw a Tumblr appreciation post for Mafioso Joker. Hell yeah! Wait, what? When did they do that to Deadshot? No, not Deadshot. Not Deadshot. I hated that stupid plot with Barbara and Bruce. I know, it's dumb. It's not Deadshot, it's Deathstroke. It's, I don't know his normal name. What's his normal name? Yeah, it's not Deadshot. It's Deathstroke from Teen Titans. Deathstroke in the original comics, fucks with a child and manipulates her. Slade Wilson. Thank you. And, you know, gets her to fuck with the Teen Titans and then gets her killed, all while being, like, sexually inappropriate with her. And there's no consequences. It's never talked about. And people still bring it into new iterations of Deathstroke. Yes, Tara. Yeah. In the comics, he straight up is, like, fucking with the child. Straight up. And I don't mean that as in fucking. I mean fucking. And it's a horrible thing. It makes no sense for his character because there's no reason for it to be there. And I think the only way you fuck up a character in DC, genuinely I believe this, is by pulling something from a narrative that is not necessary. Especially pedophilia. Your villains don't need that. They don't need it. Sorry. Slade doesn't need it, has nothing to do with his motivations, nothing to do with the plot. You could create a villain if you by all means fucking want to, for some goddamn reason. Create a villain where that is the point. It's essential to his plot, etc., etc. You can do it. It is possible. But putting it as a part of a villain who does not need it isn't helpful. When did they do that? He's psychologically manipulative. That's it. It's comic territory. It's comic territory. So is there a literal panel where he fucks her? No. But there's a lot of dialogue that is essentially Tara being like, you know, like, do you want to, like, go and do things tonight? Like, stop watching the Titans. Like, very, very sexually suggestive towards him, which is not her fault because she's a child. It would be the adult's fault. And that's my point, Fox Daddy, is they don't need to do that because he's already shown to be very psychologically manipulative. He doesn't need to be psychologically manipulative in the way of trying to have sex with a child. You don't need to do that. Like, no wonder Western comics is losing to mangas. Literally. Well, and they keep bringing it into, like, every iteration of fucking Deathstroke. And I'm like, stop bringing it to every iteration. It's like you commentated on the Barbara and Bruce thing. Stop bringing that. It was in the comics. Stop bringing that into iterations. Just stop. Like, you don't have to do that. We are not in an era where you need to pile everything bad that a person could possibly do onto one bad guy in order to make him irredeemable. No, honey. He killed people. He can just already be irredeemable. Like, he doesn't have to rape people. He doesn't have to touch children. He can already be irredeemable. Like, it's dumb. It's dumb. It genuinely is stupid. So barring things like that, or again, making Ivy a child, the sexy character, the only sexy character you have in your entire roster, what in your goddamn mind made you think making that one a child was a good idea? Like, our culture's attitude towards death is negative enough that it's sufficient. Exactly. Are you referring to the game? No, I was referring to Gotham, but I wouldn't be surprised, like the series. I wouldn't be surprised if Ivy being a child and sexualized goes in other places. I don't know if she's sexualized in that game, though. Are you talking about the Suicide Squad one? I don't know if she is or not. I haven't seen enough clips of it to know. But in Gotham, she straight up is sexualized as a child. Fully, the show. Yeah. It's just wild to me. Yeah, they did it in the show, too. Because they wanted to use a sexy character, but in Gotham, Bruce Wayne, Catwoman, and every one of Bruce Wayne's era of villains are children. So that would include Ivy. So what do? Oops! She fell into water that gave her an adult body, and now she uses sexually suggestive things like her normal powers are. But they specifically say, they didn't try to shove it under the rug. They literally specifically have her say something to the effect of, I am still a child, I have not aged up, it's just my appearance. Yeah. It just floors me because they do not have other sexy characters. And I know everyone likes to argue, Catwoman, insert female character here is sexy or sexualized. That's not what I mean. Women superheroes and villains have been sexualized all their lives. That's not what I mean. Ivy is the only character whose literal powers include making people fall in love with her and do her bidding. She's the only one. Catwoman doesn't do that. She just wears a skin-tight suit. Harley Quinn doesn't do that. She just wears a skin-tight suit. You picked the only character whose power is to literally make people fawn over her and made her a child. Like, the actress in the game was explicitly told to make her delivery like Ceci. Good. I'm glad she was, and I hope that that was consistent in the game. I hope that they didn't sexualize her, because that shit needs to stop. If you want to take that power out of her power set, then it's fine. Make her a child, don't sexualize her, don't give her that power. Just make her a plant girl. Cool. But it made sense for Ivy because she creates pheromones, so why make her a child? That's the thing. It's hard to take out of her power set because exactly like you said, it's part of, she creates pheromones. The plants create pheromones that cause you to think a certain way or do a certain thing. So it makes sense for her power set. So okay, let's do something that doesn't make sense for her power set, which is take it away so that we can treat her as a child. Or keep it in her power set but make her a child anyways, and so now she's sexualized. Ivy drives me crazy because nobody knows how to do her correctly. And I hate Ivy. This is coming from somebody who vehemently, Ivy is one of my least favorite characters. It's not a joke. In the DC universe, I hate Ivy more than almost any fucking character. But I give the benefit of the doubt that most properties do not represent her or know how to represent her well. And so that's probably where a lot of the hate comes from. Oh, sorry, I don't mean to backtrack, but I just thought of this because we're talking about female characters. Speaking of Jokers, one of my goals is to be Joker one day. Whether it's vocally, whether it's physically on a film or a show, I want to be the Joker one day. Because mind you, there are female Jokers. I think we can create more of them in multiple dimensions. But when I say I love all Jokers, oh, that's right, I gotta explain Jared Leto. Let's explain Jared Leto. But when I say I love all Jokers, I also mean Martha Wayne. I love the Flashpoint universe where Bruce dies and it becomes Martha versus Thomas. I love Martha Wayne's Joker. She's a queen. I would love to play Martha Wayne. The problem is that Be the Joker. Rachel, you're giving me a concern. I want to play the Joker so bad. He will always be at the top of my list. Now, granted, it used to be I want to play the Martha Wayne because I was a girl for most of my life, and then I was like, the gender be queering, and now I just want to play Joker. I don't know if DC will ever let me, but I just want to play Joker. Not just Martha Wayne, that's the female. I want to play Joker. Let me play my gender ambiguous Joker. Thank you. Why is this giving me... Oh, it's just channels. Okay. So, let's discuss Jared Leto. They didn't intend for Jared Leto to play the version of the Joker that I'm about to speak about. However, the version of the Joker that Jared Leto plays makes sense to be Tim Drake. Because there is a version in the comics where, and I think it's Tim. I might be wrong, but I do think it's Tim. It could be a different Robin. He gets taken by the Joker, kidnapped, and then tortured violently. And when they find him, he has been fully mentally fucked up to where he is now a mini-me, like clone of the Joker. And they end up killing the Joker, and Tim Drake takes over. I think maybe in the actual comics, they get him back, he's just traumatized and can no longer be Robin. But if we assume that Jared Leto is that version of Tim Drake, except he takes over from the Joker, because Batman kills that Joker for what he does to Tim, yes, Joker Jr. Tumblr has used turning into the Joker as an expression for being aggravated to the point of madness. I did not know that. I'm glad you told me, because that's definitely not what I meant. But yes, if we assume that Jared Leto is a form of Joker Jr., where he takes over after the original Joker gets beaten to death by Batman, then it actually works really well, because this is a very young Joker, mentally unstable, but also tortured. So we can assume a lot of these things that were like tattoos are from the original through torture things. We can assume a lot of like the grill and stuff maybe is from the torture, maybe is covering things up from the torture. And it makes sense for his attitude. Like, they essentially made a Playboy style Joker. So let's say the kid goes insane, eventually molds back into the Joker. He's gonna take on a very young, very just was allowed to drink, is now gonna fuckboy and take back control that I never had. And that is why his Joker feels really bad for Joker, is because every iteration of the Joker, their one common thread is they don't want control. It's anarchy. So his Joker feels bad because he's a Joker who wants, needs, and is in control. But would that fit his story with that version of Harley? Depends on where in the narrative Harley is at. Because abuse, you can fall into abuse from all angles. So with his focal point, with him being the antagonistic, the opposite version of the Joker, the one that once needs, has the through line broken, where he's all about control, that is very strongly an abuser's energy. So, yes, and abusers act very nice and loving and beautiful at certain points, because that's how you reel people in. So, yes, but the problem is they didn't intend to do this. So it still feels icky in the movie, it still feels bad, it still feels stupid, because that wasn't the point. They weren't trying to do it. They fell into what could be a good concept and wasn't right for the time and place. But if you were to take that idea and make that Joker now and mean to do it, absolutely. I would love to be that kind of a Joker. We know that version of the Batman world already has the death of Robin. Exactly my point, Fox Daddy. Exactly my point. I remember a lot of discussion of Jared Leto as Joker too. Yeah, because they were talking about something where they were going to do, maybe they did do a Joker and Harley Quinn movie, but I don't think they went through with doing any version of Joker 2 or Joker Jr. And I think the reason for that is because they realized that they stumbled into it and they didn't mean to do it, and so they were trying to backtrack and think of an answer and then go forward with that answer, hoping people would accept it, but people could see through their bullshit. But I would love to play a version of that anti-Joker, where he's the opposite of what everything every other Joker stands for. I'd love to play that. And if we're gonna be honest, I think if you play Martha Wayne correctly, some people are not gonna agree with me on this. If you play Martha Wayne correctly, she is the anti-Joker. Now, people deal with grief in different ways, but I think the idea of a mother having so much grief over her son, wanting to take back control in her life, and thus becoming the untouchable, unbeatable Joker because she is perfect in everything she does. She's exact. She's in control. Her makeup is excellent. Her outfit is clean. She is always on top of every decision. Every detail is thought to the end. And all she's doing is taking back control over these people who got to live instead of her child. That's a beautiful anti-Joker. It doesn't have to go that way. You can go the idea of grief breaks a person, and so she breaks everything else around her. It broke her, and now she breaks all the people. You can do that instead. That would be a real fun Joker to play. But I think she sits in both part of that narrative, whereas the normal Joker doesn't. So you would have to find something that gives him the anti-Joker control narrative. They tried to retcon Suicide Squad. Yeah, they did. I think people could buy a Martha Joker. A scorned mother is probably the scariest version of a woman's scorn. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And again, so here's the thing that intrigues me about Martha Wayne. Let's say should we go anti-Joker route, where she's fully a controlled Joker, not the anarchy that's supposed to be Joker. Not only do you have an answer for it, which is control was taken from her, she's taking it back. People deal with grief in different ways, right? That's the way she's coping. But you also have created this incredible moment where you can make the Joker break this stereotype that we have fallen into with the past 20 years of Jokers that we've pushed out. Every Joker we have pushed out nowadays has some twinge of mentally unstable, some twinge of traditionally crazy. You can argue we didn't have it in Jack Nicholson. Thomas was close to being a Joker version of Batman. Yes, he absolutely was. And that's why I think their dynamic works really well, because he's the villain. If we're looking genuinely at Flashpoint, Thomas Wayne is the villain as Batman. Martha Wayne is the hero as Joker. And that's why this dynamic is amazing, because what I'm saying about the crazy is Martha Wayne not only goes anti-Joker, where she's no longer anarchy, she also takes away this stereotype we've been forcing into the Joker of being crazy. How amazing, how cliffhangery, how powerful would it hear would it feel to finally get to the moment where we have a Batman versus Joker? We, with the Batman, are coming to the Joker, only to realize as they begin to talk, right? She's not crazy. She knows what she's doing. There is no part of her brain that is trying to justify things. There is no part of her brain that is, like, broken from grief. She is like, oh, I know I'm killing people. I know you're not supposed to kill people. I know I'm not a good person. I don't care. They took my son from me. My son is the only thing I lived for. Now I live for killing them. Like, it's a very stoic, calm, you're talking to me like I'm crazy when I have full capacity and control and comprehensiveness over my actions. That's such a powerful Joker. That's such a cool Joker. Like, that's the kind of like, ah! Whereas your foil, your Thomas Wayne, this whole time you're working with him, and as the movie goes on, where you get to this clinch point and you realize the Joker is, like, in control, you're journeying with this Thomas Wayne who is beating up people who don't deserve it, killing others who are just henchmen, going through this process of being violent, of not caring, of thinking that he's on the good side of the law, of not seeing things clearly. And you get to that point and you're like, we've been traveling with the villain. We have had an unreliable narrator this entire movie. We're on the wrong side. We're on the crazy side. That revelation as the climax, only for Thomas Wayne to win, because he still has to win. He still has to win, or it's not as powerful. Only to reach that climax as a viewer where you're like, oh my God. And then to have crazy still win. To have Thomas Wayne, the villain, still fucking win. And still get to be Batman. Still get to go out and do all his shit. Still get to criminalize the world and taint it. Oh, God, I want to make that movie. DC, hire me. Oh my God, dude. One day, and Fox Daddy, Theta, and anyone else lurking, all of you will be able to join with me when we say we were here when we first talked about this, before anybody was raving about it. We were here when it was created. Damn, dude. Like, I need death water right now because, sorry, y'all got me started on something that's near and dear to my heart. It's one of my really favorite passionate things. I apologize if that was ranty, but, like, God, I want to do that so badly. Literally, I'm not joking with you. One of my phrases that I say to people when I talk about how much I want to create a Batman movie and get full control over it and be able to produce it the way I want to produce it is, please, DC, I beg of you, let me, what's the word? What's the word, brain? Let me I want to say it's oh, I gotta look it up now. I have to look it up. Thesaurus. Redeem. I got it. Okay. This is a phrase. Cook, let you cook. Passionate ranting, it's the best kind. Yes, Julia. Yes, welcome, welcome. Were you here for all of that, Julia? Oh my God. Gotta trap James Gunn in the elevator? Literally. The phrase that I've been saying, literally since I was a child and fucking loved Joker, this is not a joke. I've been saying this. DC, please let me direct or have some sort of input into your next Batman film. I need to redeem the Schumacher name. Thank you. That's literally what I've been saying since I was like fucking born, is please let me redeem the Schumacher name. I know he ruined Batman. Please let me redeem it. I swear. I swear I can make it better. Fucking Joel Schumacher ruined it. I'm sorry. Literally just tuned in and now I wish DC would make this. Oh, yay! Well, that's totally fine. You're here too, Big Ben? Good. I'm glad. Yes, I'm glad. You'll be one of those people when I get to make this film. You'll remember how it was created. I love it. Good, good, good. Ruined how? Do you know which movies in the Batman universe Joel Schumacher created? Thank God he never got his hands on Joker. I'm gonna say this very frankly. Joel Schumacher's Batman movies can be described with one phrase. You ready? Bat nipples. That is Joel Schumacher's Batman. That will forever be Joel Schumacher's Batman. So I repeat, please, DC, let me have some sort of creative input into your next Batman film. I need to redeem the Schumacher name. I'm sorry. I watched the Tim Burton movies. Tim Burton movies are fine. Just stopping in before bed. Glad I finally could. University work's been kicking my ass since ZenkaiCon. Julia, I'm glad that you were able to stop in, though. I can imagine university's got to be awful. I'm so glad you were able to stop in and say hi. God, don't you do, like, coding or something? I'm sorry. You know I have a shitty memory, and I know you told me. Something like programming, because that shit's awful. That's got to be kicking ass. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I never forget, Fox Daddy. Huh? Never thought that'd be a characteristic of Batman. You don't want to know. Also, it's so much a characteristic of Schumacher's Batman that I'm not kidding you. You could go into Google and just type bat nipples. Not bat nipples. Batman nipples. You'll see it. It'll be the first image that pops up. You won't, like, there won't be porn. It'll just be Joel Schumacher's Batman. I think the justification for those was that he wanted them to look like Greek statues. Theta. Thank you for giving me the context. I appreciate you. And this is not to you. This is to Joel Schumacher. I don't give a fuck what the justification was. Bat nipples are never acceptable. That's all I'm saying. Don't forget the bat card. The bat card. Not acceptable. Even, what is it, Jim Carrey as the Riddler? I love him. I love his performance. Not acceptable. Mr.